Good afternoon and welcome, everybody. This would be the Jeff Cameron Show right here on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Thanks so much for tuning to it. Good day to you, sir. Good day to you, ma'am. I was going for a jog this morning, Tom. I know that's stunning. And something cool happened. A woman who was passing me, which is par for the course. I don't want to say elderly. She'll take offense if she's listening, but older was running past me as I was jogging with my dog. She's quite the runner, Tom. There's nothing I could do. Anyhow, I'm being passed by an old woman is the point.
Oh, you're being passed by.
Yes. So she.
Well, I thought they were running in your direction,
so. I was being passed by. So she runs past me, and I don't try to run at a brisk rate. It's not my forte, the running of great distances. And so I'm running, and she stopped. How's this for a little semi-famous moment? She goes, "Are you Jeff Cameron?" "I am. Yes, ma'am, I am Jeff Cameron." She goes, "I used to listen to you all the time."
Oh.
So I thought, here we go. And I said, "Oh, well, I'm still on." And she goes, "Oh, no, I love you." And then I breathed a sigh of relief. She goes,
"Okay.
I just retired. I used to listen to you at my office every day from 3 to 6, but then I retired. I don't listen to anybody." I'm like, "You're doing retirement correctly." That's there you go. She's not tuned into nothing.
Yeah, she's not living.
All of you can go to hell is what she said when she pulled the plug. It was time.
I'm going to get decent at jogging. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to retire and jog.
I think she's been jogging for a long time. I think she's a lifelong jogger.
See, in my mind, I'd pictured that you're running, in one direction, and she's
Right
on the
at
other
it. No.
side, and she's coming at you.
No, she was on my right side, and she was passing me. Now, she was unencumbered. I had a dog, and he gets distracted. So that's the other excuse I could use. He wants to pee on every pole or mailbox or bush or anything that appears to be in need of his scent.
Yeah, he's like a millennial checking into every restaurant he goes to.
That's right. Taking pictures of the food.
Yeah.
Right. I'm eating this. Look at this.
Where I am.
Nachos.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's what we've become.
Well, they have become, right?
Yeah.
You don't do that. I don't do that.
No, but as a people,
yeah.
adults have latched onto that too, if you've noticed.
Yeah.
Like parent and grandparent age.
Right,
like,
yeah.
"Oh, yeah.
I'm eating this.
I'm at the early bird special." You don't say.
Some people, by the way, that's all they take pictures of is the food that they're eating currently.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's a level of food tweets and Instagrams and Facebook pictures. It is the cook who's proud that he's making something or has made something.
Yep.
There is the I'm about to eat something that I find to be delicious, and don't you need to know about that because I'm self-absorbed, so you should know about everything I'm doing. I'm trying to project an image here. Person.
Yep.
And that's the norm, by the way.
Yeah,
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
And then the other one is the person that goes maybe to a famous place or another location and wants to document each of those stops.
Yep.
So I can tolerate some more than others, the middle being the one that I have no patience for.
Sure. Or there's the braggadocious island beverage with the crystal clear blue water and I'm on vacation and y'all can go to hell picture.
I can live with that. It's cruel, but it's also funny sometimes.
Yeah.
And it does invoke sort of the, you bastard.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's okay.
But you're not doing that every day because you're not on vacation.
That's right.
every
You
day.
don't do that every day. You do it every
Right.
once in a while when you're on vacation.
There's also the person who can't cook and then orders the at-home services and then follows the instructions and then they complete the dinner and they say, look what I
made
can
the
do.
Blue Apron piece of whatever it is, right?
Right, or whatever. Yeah.
No, I don't mean piece of. I mean like I
Right.
made this Blue Apron thing. Yeah.
Look what I can do. I couldn't do this
Apparently
before. Now I can do this.
Apparently we all can. I hear
Yeah.
that those services, I'm not subscribing to any of them, or I'm not a member, if you will, of any of those. But apparently they work wonderfully, and people who can't cook, like myself,
Yeah.
are able to do it. You just follow the very specific instructions. They give you all the ingredients.
Although they give you a video to go with it too on the app.
Do they do?
Yeah.
Do they? Yeah. So it looks like a thing you can't. I'd kind of like to do it, frankly.
No, my roommates had it years ago, and it worked.
No, I have a feeling that it does.
smelled delicious. Every day I got home, I was like, my God, you and that blue service. I don't want to give them the free
Well, I'd
love.
like to. If they're listening, we could give you all the love you need for the right price. Yeah, like free memberships and a little bit of cash.
But you can tell them your allergies and what you like to eat more of, and there it is.
Well, that's wonderful to know. I didn't mean to start the day this way or the show this way. I'll give you updates now. I mean, there are basketball games being played, after all, including one right now featuring Clemson in the ACC tournament, leading Boston College 40-31. It was nice of Louisville to get trounced by Virginia today, 75-58, to which I say you may want to thank Florida State's valiant effort at a comeback in the second half yesterday, because Louisville had dead legs because they had to work a little bit. And it looked like they were going to be able to coast. I'm sure they would have liked it if Florida State had not caught fire and shot, what was it, over 60% in the second half?
62, 63, yeah.
Yeah, they probably would have liked that. But that second half comeback, which did fall short, did put the onus on Louisville to close it out. And they looked today, given that it was a nooner, like a team that could have used a little more rest. They could not get out on Virginia's three-point shooters. They got beat to every loose ball. And at the end of the day, Virginia, and you got to give Tony Bennett a lot of credit. I'm tired of giving him a lot of credit, but they're making it look easy. They just keep on winning. At some point, you just doff the cap and say, well, I'm not a fan of the style, and I'm not a fan of watching you play, but I am a big fan of winning, and you're doing a blank ton of that.
That they are, but this year's team is a little bit different.
Yeah, they're a little bit better. Yeah, they scored 75 points here, so this is not one of those teams that's beating everybody 50-48. Yeah,
like if you're talking about the Virginia basketball unwatchability spectrum, this is actually quite watchable. I'm sure it's very enjoyable to the people of Charlottesville. They're thinking, wow, look at us. We're run and gun this year.
How would you like – now, this is interesting, and I will say if you're a Louisville fan listening to this show by the way, the lady that ran past me this morning was a Gator, and she said she still loved the show. And I said, believe it or not, I have a ton of University of Florida graduates and fans that listen to this show. Probably not a ton of Canes, but a ton of Gators. They're all right with it. I mean, my bias is my bias. Everybody's got one. They've got theirs. I've got mine. But I think we're relatively fair. We have a fair share of Canes.
Yeah, I'd say our Canes listenership probably went up this past year, too, because they finally got a result for the first time in forever.
Well, they did. It's not going to stop me from pointing out the disparity over the last decade.
Oh, God, no. Nor should it.
No. One thing to note here, and if I don't, this is not a rivalry, but I imagine Louisville fans are really about tired of Virginia. Since Louisville joined the ACC in 2015, they were a replacement for Maryland, as you well know. We said goodbye to Maryland. Hello, Louisville. And that meant that they became a primary rival to Virginia. You have the two primary rivals, right?
I was just thinking about, let's say that there's the athletic director and the coaches, they all meet.
Yeah.
And instead of Maryland's coaches, you bring in Patino and Petrino. Like, how you doing? Well.
You have to take a shower after that meeting.
Oh.
You have to take a shower after that meeting.
This just got intense. This room just got a lot more something.
Yeah, they sat in. Yeah, it's like a meeting with the mob. You just sat down like, who did we just meet with? I feel dangerous. I mean, I feel like that might have been criminal what just occurred here.
I mean, there's a lot of cologne smell in the room.
Check your wallet. Does everybody have their wallet?
Patino's rubbing Petrino's back a little too
it's just
familiarly.
Odd. The whole thing is odd.
This looks like a lot of fun, Bobby. This could be a good time.
Oh, man. Yeah. So the point would be this. The Terps were gone, and Virginia's two primary rivals, one of them became Louisville. And in that time, Louisville has not liked the way that Tony Bennett has treated them. Tony Bennett has led Virginia to an 8-1 record against Louisville in ACC play after today. How about that, right?
Yeah.
8-1.
Over Louisville.
That is, Notre Dame rallied last night. I could have done without that. The push for Notre Dame is real. Don't let them fool around and beat Duke now. In fact, if they do, they're in. I'm just going to call it now. They're in, period, end of story. There is, and I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. I agree that if you're trying to identify teams that should be in the tournament, you have to take into account those that lost, in this case, an All-American. Their record will reflect the fact that they lost the best player on the team, arguably one of the best players certainly in the country. Actually, that's inarguable. He is. And you're going to take that into account if that player comes back, and he has.
Yeah.
And he's playing well, and they begin winning games because he's playing well. you see what they really are. It's a greater representation. So you look beyond the record, in short, and I think that's fair. And, I don't know that they even have to beat Duke tonight, but if they play well, if that game is tied at 70 with a minute to play, given what they just did, given the way they've played since Colson's return, there's a chance they get in.
I think if they beat Duke, they're 100% in.
Without question.
I don't know if they lose that they are. However, if you look at the bubble right now, and I'm comfortable talking about these things because even after yesterday, you look across the board, none of the bracketologist people are putting us anywhere in danger.
Everybody feels very good about us right now.
Like even where I look today, the first thing I did, I saw Lenardi had us slip down to a 10, and we'd be playing, I think it's Seton Hall opposite Cincinnati as a 2 seed. I looked at that, and then I said, all right, we're a 10 seed, but are we one of the last 4 to get a bye? That I want to see, are we in that designator? It's like, all right, you're safe. You're not last 4 in, but you're the last 4 to get a bye. We're not even in that list. So Lenardi has us quite insulated from being in trouble, and the way it looks right now.
Quote I heard from him this morning is they're comfortably in.
Right. Well, and that's the way it feels across the board, not just at ESPN, but if you look at Palm or wherever.
And not just here at the 97.9 ESPN radio studios.
Well, that's just true.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's important that it's outside of this room.
Oh, yeah. Man, I wasn't picking up what you were putting down there. I apologize. But you have Syracuse lose last night. You have Oklahoma State beat Oklahoma, which is kind of cannibalism. I think those two are trading spots, and it looks like Oklahoma State is taking the lead. If they win again tonight, then they may be in. But Louisville loses today. I think Notre Dame takes Louisville's place if Notre Dame wins. So we're okay. After yesterday, if a lot of things went badly for us, with other wins like Syracuse winning, or if Louisville won this afternoon, right now you'd probably be sweating just a little bit.
You'd be getting there.
I think we survived that storm. Whatever that push would be, whatever the buzz would be after we lose to Louisville. Well, why are they in? Now we've survived that. That storm is over. I think we'll be just fine.
Oklahoma is a really weird team right now, and they're a team that when you keep looking back at them, it's a good thing they played so well earlier this year in their non-conference because, and I like OU, and so I'm inclined to be a little biased towards Oklahoma. But I go back to when, and we're going to have an opportunity. We're talking to Seth Greenberg tomorrow on the program, and I talked to Seth when I was working on ESPNU on Sirius. We were talking about, at what point would Oklahoma be seriously in danger? What would have to happen coming down the stretch for them to be in danger? Because they all seem to think, all the experts, and certainly the advanced metrics, seem to think that it was a foregone conclusion, short of a complete disaster, they're in no matter what happens. And I said, well, at some point, if you're 5 games under 500 in the Big 12, don't we have to take a second look at whether or not you're just given the pass? And he said, at the time, he said they would really have to play poorly down the stretch and lose a bunch of games. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, check that box.
Which they have.
Yeah.
But I still think they look like they're comfortably in.
Right now, they're on that line. If you're going by Joey brackets, they're right on that line with Oklahoma State. And again, recency bias being what it is, at least for the moment, and maybe it's to garner some clicks until Saturday when you reset everything, Oklahoma State is trending in while Oklahoma is trending out. We'll see what the Pokes do if they get another win under their belt. They're certainly capable of beating anybody. They beat Kansas twice this year. So, again, if they get another big win, or if Notre Dame wins tonight, that's bad news for Oklahoma. They are where people feared we were going to be, Oklahoma, that is. There were people feared we were going to be about halftime yesterday.
Yeah,
We're not in that conversation at all. Can't stress that enough.
You start in February with OU as an aside to point out why we're talking about them this way and other teams that could potentially take a spot from Florida State. That's all we're looking at it from a selfish viewpoint. Could anything happen to hurt Florida State's chances of getting in? So if you're tuning in, you're what the hell is with all the OU talk? We're just looking at teams that could potentially be a problem if it got down to the nitty-gritty and Florida State got re-examined, if you will. And so Oklahoma, you go back to early February when I was having this conversation. They lost to Texas 79-74. They turned around and lost a heartbreaker to West Virginia in their next game, 75-73. Then they lost to Iowa State. Then they lost to Texas Tech. Then they lost to Texas again. Then they got beat by 30 by Kansas. And then they did beat Kansas State. That was good for them. That stopped a rather lengthy slide, to say the least. Then they got trounced by Baylor. Then they beat Iowa State, and then they lost yesterday to Oklahoma State. To say that they have played poorly starting from February to now is a gross understatement. They've played pitifully. But prior to that, when everybody was going nuts about Young, they were winning lots of games against really good teams and were putting up cool numbers for all of us to look back at and say, wow, how about this squad? And especially early in the year, again, against ranked teams and good teams, it looks like that's what's going to have to carry the day for them. Interesting to watch Notre Dame Duke tonight. You're right. They may not have the legs. For it. I don't know. But if desperation is the only thing that we're going to look at here, Duke's going to be whatever Duke is because they're already locked in. And Notre Dame will play like a desperate team. And if they have the legs, I think they pull it off.
Yeah, again, and if you're just looking at the last four in as of this morning, this is according to, again, Joe Lunardi, Oklahoma, UCLA, Arizona State, and Louisville. That's of this morning, as of this morning. So this is before Louisville lost to Virginia. And the first four out being Oklahoma State, Notre Dame, Alabama, Marquette. Well, two teams on that list, Oklahoma State and Notre Dame, have chances to put themselves comfortably in, I would think, because you have Oklahoma idle and now Louisville has lost today. So you might see a flip-flop of those positions, but it could be that it requires wins for Oklahoma State and Notre Dame. One more apiece, and they should be good to go. But again, we're good, man. We're golden. I was worried today that after sleeping on it, some people would make the calls, like Lunardi. I'm sure he has contacts. He gets this thing so right so often that he may make a call and say, well, what's the opinion today on Florida State over Louisville? Nothing.
If you're wondering, because so many people do that job for various outlets, the reason you're quoting Lunardi is he got 67 of 68 right last year.
You don't do that without making a couple of calls and having people's lines of thinking.
Understanding the formula, having, obviously good lines of communication with people that matter. Yeah.
But, I mean, I'm sure most people, if they really crunch the numbers all year long, could get 58, 60 right. But it's about getting those last 4 or 5.
Which is difficult. And there's always one that is controversial. There's one where you say, frankly, I think they just made a mistake.
Yeah.
They just made a mistake. No surprise, other news in the ACC. Pitt fires their coach as Kevin Stallings has shown the door after an 0-for-19 campaign. By the way, that's just 2 seasons in. I would like to proclaim from the mountaintops that it's good to be Kevin Stallings, provided the rest of his life is in order and there's not some sort of, malady I'm unaware of, like he has herpes or something. If he's fine, if he's okay, today's a good day to be Kevin Stallings. You're no longer coaching. You only had to be there for 2 years, and you just got your kiss my ass on Main Street money.
Ball's free!
Woo!
Ball's free!
Take it on down the road, baby. It's time to vacation. I can get the hell out of Pittsburgh where we can't win literally even a single game in this conference. I got no time to turn it around, so my reputation doesn't take that great a hit, and I get all the cash.
Ball's free!
Yes, sir. Let's go. We're taking it to the islands. Just saying. As long as there's not any other major malady in his life, he's in good shape.
It's a very specific one. That
well,
would be,
I'm just saying things that would really kind of constantly wear you down.
Yeah.
Things that would just be omnipresent as you drove to work. Like everybody's got problems in their life. I really got to pay off that bill.
Yeah, you got debt.
Man, everybody's got debt. Everybody's got things that I really want to do this. And gosh, my son didn't do well on that test. Whatever it is, right? If it were something like herpes, I think that would supersede. Like you would just be driving down the road going, I really do have debt and herpes. And I also have, you would just constantly.
Why does Mahindra have 97% satisfaction? Ask our owners.
This How I love to superlube my car. Yes, sir.
Need a place to watch your favorite sporting event? Hobbit American Grill. Voted best wings in Tallahassee by Tally Awards 3 years in a row. They have daily lunch specials, all under $9. Happy hour drink specials and happy hour on Friday, 2 p.m. to close. Darts are now available on West Pensacola Street. Hobbit American Grill keeps it local with a wide variety of locally crafted beers, plus a full bar. Hobbit American Grill. 3 locations to choose from. 400 Capitol Circle Southeast, 2020 West Pensacola Street, and 5032 Capitol Circle Southwest. Visit them online at myhobbitonline.com.
At CVS Pharmacy at Target, we put a little extra heart into everything we do, like actively looking to save you money. Generics, 90-day refills, even rewards. Get a $5 Target coupon for every 10 prescriptions. On your next Target run, stop by CVS Pharmacy. We're the place with the big heart. Not valid on all prescriptions, including those purchased in Arkansas, New Jersey, or New York. Other restrictions apply. See cvs.com/extracare-target or the pharmacy for details. CVS Pharmacy at Target. Health is everything.
Landowners, your Mahindra dealer is ready to give you special savings on the toughest tractors and utility vehicles on earth during the Mahindra Red Tag Sale. Hurry in for up to $7,900 in cash back and red tag savings. Only from Mahindra.
For more information and to view TNT's huge Mahindra inventory, go to TNTSuperCenter.com.
Offer with approved credit. See dealer for details. Program restrictions may apply.
The cut is sharper. The stance is bolder. The rider is comfier. The frame is stronger. The controls are smarter. The handling is smoother. When it comes to professional grade performance, no mower is greater than a Gravely Zero Turn. Be more than just a mower. Be prouder. Be greater. Be a Gravely owner. Gravely, built to mow the distance.
With over 150 of them in stock, the Gravely Zero Turns start at just $28.99. Go to TNTSuperCenter.com for current inventory and pricing.
When you run a growing business, you wear a lot of hats. The I ordered it hat, the Mr. Fix-It hat, the it's taken care of because I handled it yesterday hat. My favorite hat? My I received an order from Grainger hat. I look my best in that one. Grainger's got the products I need and gets me them when I need them, no matter what hat I'm wearing that day. You know what? I love Grainger. You know why? Because Grainger's got my back. Call clickgrainger.com or stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The madness is coming to the corner pocket.
They're in trouble. Desperation. Yes!
Choose the place with Tallahassee's best TVs. The Corner Pocket's Vegas Wall. 8 50-inch crystal clear flat screens. You won't miss a second of the action. Corner Pocket's your headquarters for the most watched sporting event in America.
For the win! Good! A miracle!
Delicious food, the best drink specials. Connect to their free Wi-Fi and keep up with your bracket. From the opening tip to the cutting of the nets. Come see why Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
Yes! Oh, my goodness!
This is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio. The end of the Alabama game was fun. You know, one of the things that the tournaments, all tournaments like this do when you watch them is you're reminded that, okay, A, they're played by human beings, and in this case, young ones. And you just see, like, panic set in sometimes, or the lack thereof. And this is a perfect example in that you've got one side with the lead, but well aware of the fact that, you know, you cannot foul in that situation, and they're deathly afraid of fouling. And so they play off of a guy who goes the length of the court to score the basket, win the game as time expires. And frankly, there is nobody there. Nobody. As the Crimson Tide makes the mark. It's crazy. You're looking at this. I'm reading now. Seth Wilder writes, Alabama had a 9% chance to reach the NCAA tournament following T.J. Stark's three-pointer with just over 4 seconds remaining. That put the Crimson Tide down by 1. The next play, Colin Sexton's game-winning layup, brought Alabama's tournament chances up to over 99%. Well, Alabama just broke a 5-game losing streak with that win. It's kind of weird watching it because they haven't been very good down the stretch, and I'm reminded that I have to eliminate the thought about teams' last 5 to 10 games. It was a thing for a very long time. For those of us who grew up on college basketball and gearing up towards the NCAA tournament and March Madness, it was a talking point from those that covered the game and those that analyzed tournament selections. And you always heard them mention, well, so-and-so should be in good shape, but they're just 3-7 for their last 10. And the counter was always, got to look at the entirety of the resume. I know, but the committee takes a closer look at what you've done in your last 5 to 10 games, Johnny. Well, that's true, Bob, and if that's the case, they could be in real trouble. That was a normal conversation every year.
Taking me back.
Yeah. And that was a bland version of said conversation, but that's what they would do.
That's what most desks looked like back in those days.
Yeah.
Johnny and Rick.
You were beat over the head over and over and over again to look in the paper or look when the internet occurred. You began to look online and say, well, what I don't know what Oklahoma State's done their last 10 games. I have no idea what Southern Cal's done their last 10 games. Let's take a look. Oh, well, they are 9-1 with 2 wins over top 10 teams. They might get in. That's just the way you considered it. But they don't do that anymore at all. So you can be Oklahoma, a team that just loses every time they play now. And if the resume is the resume and it's good enough, you're getting in, despite really being kind of butt sorry for the entire month of the season.
Right, for a month, because that's how long it takes to play all these games down the stretch that you're losing left and right.
For a month. They've lost for a month. But they've sprinkled in a couple wins in there.
Which is, again, why we are comfortably in the tournament, because of all the damage we did the first 10 to 12 games of our ACC slate.
Could have done without Alabama going coast to coast in the last 4.5 seconds, but yeah.
But they wouldn't run us down, even if they win their conference tournament. I don't think that they'd be running us down at a 9 or a 10.
No, but they're a team that was not going to get into the tournament.
Yeah.
That is now getting into the tournament, we think.
Well, Louisville just got really sad, I think is what just happened.
Yeah, those teams are, it's funny. It's a paranoia because we've all been there. Every year a team doesn't get in that most people thought would get in, and it's a team that has a secondary inspection. I was joking with you this morning. We're the guys selling the nice used car. We know everything about the car. It's been our car. It's good, it's bad, it's ugly, and everything in between. But the outside looks shiny and new. We've really taken great care of the outside. It's washed up, polished, and ready to go. And on first glance, the person that comes to look at your used vehicle says, oh, I like it. It's exactly like the picture in the paper. I feel good about this. So how long have you had the Mustang, Jeff? Oh, 13 years, and it's run like a dream. A couple small things here or there. And then why don't you open up the hood, pop the hood, and you do. Now, you're well aware that there are some hoses that need replacing, and there are some other aspects of the vehicle that, upon further review, might give the buyer remorse and or a reason to renegotiate the cost of said vehicle. And with each passing second that they are looking at the engine and the tires and every other aspect of the car, your eyes dart to the one area where God, if he sees that, that's a problem. It most assuredly needs to be replaced. And then they keep looking. They're like, what's this? Oh, it's just that's a hose. I forgot about that. It needs to be replaced, but really, I'll do that. I'll replace the hose. Don't worry about it. Other than that, it's all good. What about this over here? Well, that's just she runs like a dream.
That's wear and tear.
That's just the thing is it's an older car. I mean, it's not a perfect car, but it is certainly as I described it before. If there are a couple little things, we can anyhow. It really runs nice. That's Florida State's basketball season. I
appreciate your time, is what the other person would say.
Yes, and it is. It's starting to be a little bit of a, well, guys, I couldn't help but notice that Louisville beat you in the grudge match there and did take 2 of 3 from you. Notre Dame manhandled you here, another team that is looking to get out from the ACC. And, your best player, your leading scorer and rebounder, hasn't played well in a month. I look at some of these other teams that are on the bubble playing exceptionally well right now, and I got to wonder if you're one of the teams that maybe should be looked at a little bit closer. No. Guys, North Carolina, anybody remember that game?
Yeah,
Anybody?
exactly.
Yeah, who won that game? I'll tell you who. We did. That's right. Another one of those teams you're talking about, what was it, Syracuse? Yeah, who won that game? We did. We won that game.
We swept the season series with North Carolina, I'll have you know.
Just saying platitudes, things like that. Yeah. Did you play them only once? Well, that is true. But that's a sweep.
Did they beat us?
Yes, right.
Doesn't matter. We
Yeah,
swept them.
I just feel like they're going to start prodding a little bit.
Are you really worried?
I'm not really worried.
Okay.
I could just see that scenario where somebody's like, why again are we so sure Florida State's going to the tournament? What? Let's sit down and compare some resumes, shall we? No, we don't need to do that. We're good. It's all right.
Quadrant 1 wins out the wazoo.
By the way,
that's where we're
that's
good.
actually true. You could sit down and have that conversation in earnest and feel very good about it.
And it's over at that point.
I tend to, like we all do, hyper-focus on some of the negative aspects of this team.
Unless there are changes, did you see the way that they're going to be doing the broadcast on Sunday for Selection Sunday?
I did not.
They are changing the method with which you learn whether or not you are in the tournament.
And we shall find out all about it when we return on the Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
TNT Supercenter is your one-stop shop for the largest inventory of golf carts and accessories, stocking over 150 new and pre-owned carts with prices starting under $2,000. Whether you're looking for a standard or custom golf cart, TNT has the perfect cart for you. TNT carries and services leading brands and the full line of premium Mad Jacks accessories. Stop by or call to find out about our zero-down, low-interest rate financing, free delivery, and rental programs. Visit TNTSupercenter.com.
TNT. I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck, always enough. I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this. It's right here, guys. We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Watch it live. The Jeff Cameron Show Streamcast. Live weekdays 3 to 6 p.m. Head to ESPNTallahassee.com today to watch live or catch up on demand. The Jeff Cameron Show Streamcast. Brought to you by Nice Tire and Auto, your trusted Goodyear dealer.
Nice Tire and Auto, just minutes away from FSU campus.
If you think trains will stop if they see a car on the tracks, you're right, they will. About a mile after they hit you. In 2015 alone, 230 people were killed at railroad crossings. Don't become the next fatality. Stop. Trains can't. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
Games for Less, the only locally owned and operated gaming store in town, has Tallahassee's largest selection of new and used video games and game systems. The future of video gaming is at Games for Less, where they have both the PS4 and Xbox One. It's time to trade in your old systems and elevate your gaming experience now. Games for Less is also your headquarters for the best in retro gaming. Atari 2600, original Nintendo, Super NES, or Sega Genesis, you name it. They got it at Games for Less. Games for Less, the Super Walmart Shopping Center on Appalachian Parkway. Give them a call today at 850-219-3535. 888-5. That's Games for Less.
Sports are defined by stats and performance, but here's a performance stat that no one wants to talk about. Erectile dysfunction affects half of all men over 40. That's 50%. If you're struggling with ED and other therapies haven't worked, isn't it time to feel like yourself again? Learn about a long-lasting ED solution from Coloplast to get you back in the game. Visit Dr. DeLay at Advanced Urology Institute, located at 2000 Centerpoint Boulevard, or call their office and set up an appointment today. 833-4-DRDELAY. That's 833-4, Dr. DeLay. The sooner you seek treatment, the sooner you can get back to feeling like your normal self. That's 833-4, Dr. DeLay.
Hendrick.
Ladies and gentlemen, start your savings. Race into Dale Earnhardt Jr. Buick GMC for the best selection and service in Tallahassee. Get incredible discounts on racetrack-worthy vehicles like $10,000 off select new Buicks and GMCs. We are professional grade. And that's not all. We've got a huge used car inventory, so you can find a quality pre-owned vehicle to fit any budget. We even offer low payments and exceptional offers like 0% APR financing. Hassle? No way. Haggle? Never. At Dale Earnhardt Jr. Buick GMC, you'll deal with people you know, like, and trust, and get the honest, friendly service you deserve. That's why our customers will tell you there's no better car buying experience in town. Visit us today at 1850 Capitol Circle Northeast or online at DaleJuniorBuickGMC.com. And remember, you too can be a Hendrick driver.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Doug Brown. The number one team in college basketball cruises in the ACC quarterfinals today.
The Cavaliers looking to push, which you will rarely say in a Virginia basketball game. Another three-point try. No, and a slam follow. Diakite soared out of nowhere to stuff it home.
Mike Cousins on ESPN Radio. Virginia beats Louisville 75-58. Cal State Northridge Athletic Director Brandon Martin is now being accused of battery by his former basketball coach, Reggie Theus. Theus was fired on Tuesday, and he says there was an altercation between the two men. Theus is a former NBA player and had coached the Matadors for 5 seasons. From Major League Baseball, Yankees outfielder Aaron Judge says he's leaning toward not competing in the home run derby again. Judge won the event last year.
You know, when something's so obvious they call it a no-brainer? Well, here's a big one. Barbasol is finally making razors. Introducing the Barbasol Ultra 6 Plus. It's got 6 ultra-thin blades for a close, comfortable shave. You can go to Barbasol.com right now and save some money. That's a no-brainer, too.
Live from the AmeriGas Propane Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
All right, so you were saying before this commercial so rudely interrupted us
Yeah.
that the way that you see whether or not you've been selected to the NCAA tournament has shifted. I was caught unawares by your comment. I would like to be educated.
Okay.
What changes?
So, first
because
of all,
I rather am partial to the old way where we watch the people in the room celebrating,
yeah,
they get selected. We're not doing that anymore?
No. First of all,
that's not cool.
The selection show is on TBS, not CBS. I don't know if this is the first year that that's true or not. But according to the release put out, the 68 teams that are selected are going to be put up on the screen right away. I don't know if it's in groups of whatever.
Boo!
Yes. And then they release the brackets over the course of the broadcast. And so you know your matchups, when, where, what
Release
seeding.
the brackets feels a lot like release the Kraken.
Yes.
But or unleash. But I don't like any of this. This sounds terrible. What are we doing? This has been an age-old thing of beauty. For as long as I can remember, the whole thing has been punctuated by the celebration or dejection of a coaching staff and fan base along with the players in a room, right? It's awesome.
Yeah, it's a 2 or 3 hour show, too.
It's a big to do.
Right. So I don't know how people are going to stick around for the entirety of the broadcast. They'll wait to see if they got in, if they're on the bubble, and then they'll get a text message later about who they're playing and when, because all they care about is, are we in or are we not in?
Well, the players themselves will care.
I'm talking fans.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying as to, no, I don't like any of this. I used to like to, as the brackets appeared, the regions.
Team by team.
Team by team.
Yeah.
Like, oh, well, let's see. Oh, there we are. Damn it. We're paired with Arizona.
Yeah. You're clapping at a television screen, flashing your logo up on.
Or slapping five with your friends in a room over a beer as you watch the goodness.
Yeah.
I mean, it's always been.
All right.
Yeah.
We can beat Seton Hall's ass.
Right.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about them. We're going to beat them.
That's my favorite part, no matter who you're a fan of. In this case, we're Knowles. No matter the team that gets popped up alongside your name, you're like, oh, Cincinnati? We'll beat Cincinnati's ass. If the next question from one of your friends in the room was, have you seen Cincinnati play this year? You'd be done. Because nobody in the room has.
Yeah.
Nobody's seen Cincinnati play a second of basketball this year. Yeah. But you're quite sure you can beat their ass.
Mm-hmm.
That's always the best.
Yeah, Creighton.
Creighton like a drum.
God.
Think how depressed Creighton is right now.
What's their
Florida
budget?
State's name popped up there. That's awful for them. Oh, well, Creighton, sorry. Things are the way they are.
So apparently, again, if it goes to plan, now it's been rebuffed. People have not liked what they've heard, that this is the
new
method.
Not what you do.
So we'll see if they change it at the 11th hour, but you'll get the bracket revelation the same way we always have, but there just won't be any are we in or are we not drama. You're going to know right out the gates.
Yeah, I'm a fan of the old way and not just being stubborn to say that I wish they would hold on to that. I just thought there was real drama, real intrigue there. Clemson 52, Boston College 39. I couldn't imagine a way that BC was going to win this game given how few people they play and how much of a gut check they had yesterday. That's a team that's going to miss out on the NCAA tournament that should be proud of themselves, though. They're going to finish 19-15 if they go on to lose this game and 7-11 in the ACC. And I think by and large, that's quite the step up for old Boston College. They got some good things going there.
They do. They're a dangerous team. And I think there will be a lot of teams relieved that they're not in the field, because if you're just talking about trending, the old way of looking at the teams,
they were trending in the right direction and they kept playing hard.
That's a tough out. I mean, that's a squad too that beat Duke now early in conference play, so they're capable of playing with anybody that's in the upper class. And think about it. I was watching last night Syracuse and North Carolina for a little while, and they're always there. The records are right there, the bug on the bottom of the screen. Only 3 games separate those two teams in the ACC standings. I mean, you think about it, it feels like a gulf because North Carolina is going to be a projected 2 seed and Syracuse is on the bubble and now they're out. But 3 games difference. 3 final 2 minutes of a game, or the overtime against Florida State. Now it's only 2 games. It's just, it's incredible how razor thin the margin is before we start saying you suck as a coach or we need to give you an extension.
That's true of a lot of teams in Power 5 conferences, big-time conferences like the ACC. Oh, by the way, a coach we respect and certainly saw up close and personal, unfortunately, from a year ago, is now seriously guiding his team through their conference with the greatest of ease, really the entirety of the schedule. And that's Xavier, the number 3 team in the country, having lampooned St. John's 88-60 today. They are now 28-4. After that game, oh, by the way, there was a scuffle in the handshake line, to which Chris Mullin said, I didn't see anything.
Oh, God.
I'm going to have to go back. I'm going to go back and look at it. I love the I didn't see anything. I always love the I didn't see anything.
Unless Dirk Cutter says it.
Yeah. So, well, and I didn't love that either. That whole situation was ugly. But I am curious. I haven't seen the footage yet. I've been here doing this, so I don't know. But there's an outside chance he didn't see the scuffle, as he alluded to. But handshake scuffles are good. I like those. They're up close and personal.
St. John's had a good week this year, didn't they?
It's a weird St. John's program and team in general to beat Duke and to beat Villanova and to finish under 500 with a grand total of 4 wins in the Big East.
Oh, man.
What in the world? That's the weirdest. You try to diagnose that team. You're capable of beating Villanova and Duke, and you can't win but 4 games in the Big East, and you finish below 500 with your record as a whole?
Yeah. No, my dad was like, look at that, Chris Mullin doing things. I'm like, is he, or is he underachieving in an incredible way?
Yeah,
because which is it?
Yeah, I was about to say, it actually, you go from saying, oh, that's cool, he's got those kids still playing hard, they're outmanned, but they're still playing hard, and they're rewarded for it. Or Marvin Clark II's a really good player, and, I've just identified a secondary player that most teams would love to have. They're wildly inconsistent. It's one or the other.
Right, yeah.
I don't watch enough St. John's basketball to know.
Nor do I. And
So-
I'm happy about that fact.
Yeah, he says he didn't see it, but all I know is that whenever I see Chris Mullen, I go, hey, man, 2 fingers to my eyes, 2 fingers back to you with that hair. What's going on? You're famed for the crew cut, that's fine, and now it's a lot thinner than it used to be. I'm talking about the color of that hair. What are we doing here?
I haven't seen it. What is it?
It's that
Like
weird rust color.
that rusty?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's that weird rust color dudes get when they're
Looks
living
like
the
my
life.
Vokey wedge.
Yeah, you're like, what is? That's not a natural color. That doesn't. I don't know that that's in the spectrum. What do we? Yeah. Every time I see Mullen, I go, come on, man.
Yeah.
How come people can't come up to these guys and put their arm around them and say the dream's over?
Yeah, this color.
It's not a color.
That's
It's not
even-
a real.
If you could delude yourself into putting, a rug on your head, that's one thing. But even still, if your hair color looks nothing like it has in the last 10 years, you got to go one of two ways about it. And you could say, well, women color their hair all the time, so I decided to color my hair. Well, what's it to you? And you own it. Or you say, no. It's my natural hair color.
You can't do the
Like,
no,
really?
no if you're wearing some rust-colored hair.
But I feel like somebody who has rust-colored hair is incapable of telling you, yes, I have my hair colored.
No, they can't because they're delusional. Because if they were honest with themselves, they'd look in the mirror after they got their hair colored with that color and they'd go, what the hell did you do to me? This isn't even a real color. Just cut it off. This is ridiculous. I'll start
Shave it
over.
all
What are we doing here? As for his part, Chris Mack, head coach for Xavier, said about the scuffle, I'm not going to throw anybody under the bus. It's just a couple guys didn't want to shake hands is all. It's like a mob answer.
That guy is
that
guy's
solid.
serious business, isn't he?
I know. Yeah, he strikes me as very, very serious.
If they come on any one of the 4 channels next week, and most certainly they will, but if they come on and you can see the pregame of that game, and he fist pounds his coach, a little dap, right?
Oh, they're going to win.
They're going to win by a lot.
Run to the bettors table.
Right, get it in before the tip.
Make it happen. Good Lord. Yeah, it's absolutely.
Before.
Just everything about that phrasing.
Even like the.
Yeah, everything was goodness gracious.
Yeah.
Hey, so there is an article today on
We're
SB
not in the
Nation.
safe harbor. I really shouldn't have done that.
It's there's an article on SB Nation today that documents the same sort of fun we were having yesterday with Coach Fisher having to be a judge at a rodeo while riding a horse. Which, just say it out loud, is ridiculous. Just say Coach Fisher had to wear a ridiculous cowboy hat with his boots on a freaking horse while judging a rodeo.
Man,
is a lot of fun.
Most people who are social media savvy obviously have already seen the picture, but I think the last piece of the puzzle there is that he has to wear a badge. Like he's deputized to do this. It's not just about the hat or the horse.
I'm looking at the badge, but that could just be a faux. I mean, he's not deputized.
But
honestly,
it's worse if he's not actually deputized. You know what I'm saying? It's
It's
like, well, you have to put
stupid
this.
as hell that he's judging this contest. I mean, look,
Here's your hat and your badge, Jimbo. You got to wear both of them. You got to wear the badge now, or else you can't be a judge. So put it on.
Okay, so here's the only thing I don't know, and I could have figured this out already, and this is just straight lazy. I'm sure there's some sort of angle here beyond the fact that Coach Fisher has to be a judge at a rodeo wearing a cowboy hat, stupid-looking boots while he rides a horse. That there's some sort of charitable angle to this.
I would think so.
So I don't want anybody to think I'm making fun of a charity or helping of others. That's all a very good thing. But okay. Anyhow,
He's thrilled to be there for that purpose.
Man,
you can see it in his eyes,
look
right?
at my man. Just look at him. That far away. I'm telling you, it's the Phil Collins effect of, it's the in the air tonight, staring off at the distance. Man, end
It's
of
the Ben
Miami
Affleck.
Vice.
It's the Ben Affleck clip.
It is. Yeah.
Of silence. Or at least partly have spoken. Ben? I agree.
There's nothing you can do, right? Fisher judging the Trophy Longhorn Steer Show.
The what?
It was he was looking at the Trophy Longhorn Steer Show. And this guy hashtagged Gig'em afterwards. And then the article itself had, of course, all of the awkward moments that have occurred in a relatively brief period of time since his arrival at Texas A&M. This really not being the highlight. I think you could choose when he got off the plane and there's a red carpet and the entire band playing there where he doesn't acknowledge them and just breezes right past, kind of embarrassed by the whole thing. Or the time that the girl, Rachel Ferguson, and him are doing whatever that sawing them off dance is for Aggieland. And then there's the thumbs up picture with Revelry while Revelry stares away from the camera like forlorn and glad I got to meet you, Mr. Coach Jimbo. And it's from the Revelry account, right?
Yeah. Is Revelry?
It's Reveille, right? It's Reveille, whatever it is.
Is it like Rowdy from Scrubs? Is that thing dead or is that a live dog?
Reveille's alive.
It's alive? So it posed like that to look like it's dead and stuffed? And
then they also have the online post from a person who wrote, is Reveille there? I'm really interested to see if Reveille and Fisher have a natural bond and if Fisher willingly reaches out. Reveille is a huge part of our university and football program, so if she has an instant affinity for Coach Fisher, I think it will speak volumes to our recruits. If you could, please take and post a video of their initial encounter. Any still shots of Coach Fisher petting Reveille would also be appreciated. Would prefer it if taken from the side so I can see as much as possible of both of their faces.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this. It's right here, guys. We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Smoother, bolder, sharper, comfier, smarter, fiercer, tougher, stronger, longer, greater, prouder. Gravely Zero-Turn Mowers.
All be available for purchase between 12 and 4 p.m. Phenomenal live musical acts all day long. Crooked Kilts on the patio from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. and Catfish Alliance on the main stage from 9 p.m. to midnight. $5 cover after 5 p.m. So throw on your green and Irish-inspired ensembles and get to Finnegan's Wake this St. Patrick's Day. Doors open at 11 a.m. 21 and up only. Finnegan's Wake Irish Pub right off Thomasville Road next to 5th and Thomas.
Landowners, your Mahindra dealer is ready to give you special savings on the toughest tractors and utility vehicles on earth during the Mahindra Red Tag Sale. Hurry in for up to $7,900 in cash back and Red Tag savings. Only from Mahindra.
For more information and to view TNT's huge Mahindra inventory, go to TNTSupercenter.com.
Offer with approved credit. See dealer for details. Program restrictions may apply.
The cut is sharper.
The stance is bolder. The rider is comfier. The frame is stronger. The controls are smarter. The handling is smoother. When it comes to professional-grade performance, no mower is greater than a Gravely Zero Turn. Be more than just a mower. Be prouder. Be greater. Be a Gravely owner. Gravely, built to mow the distance.
With over 150 of them in stock, the Gravely Zero Turns start at just $28.99. Go to TNTSuperCenter.com for current inventory and pricing.
At CVS Pharmacy at Target, we put a little extra heart into everything we do, like actively looking to save you money. Generics, 90-day refills, even rewards. Get a $5 Target coupon for every 10 prescriptions. On your next Target run, stop by CVS Pharmacy. We're the place with the big heart. Not valid on all prescriptions, including those purchased in Arkansas, New Jersey, or New York. Other restrictions apply. See cvs.com/extracare-target or the pharmacy for details. CVS Pharmacy at Target. Health is everything.
This Day in Sports, brought to you by Superlube, 19 Tallahassee area locations. Quick, convenient, no appointment necessary. Get your history lesson weekdays at 5:30 during the Jeff Cameron Show, right here on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
When you run a growing business, you wear a lot of hats. The I ordered it hat, the Mr. Fix-It hat, the it's taken care of because I handled it yesterday hat. My favorite hat? My I received an order from Grainger hat. I look my best in that one. Grainger's got the products I need and gets me them when I need them, no matter what hat I'm wearing that day. You know what? I love Grainger. You know why? Because Grainger's got my back. Call clickgrainger.com or stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Driving every day from the AmeriGas studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is 97.9 ESPN Radio, WTSM, Woodville, Thomasville, Tallahassee.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Doug Brown. The number one team in college basketball cruises in the ACC quarterfinals today.
The Cavaliers looking to push, which you will rarely say in a Virginia basketball game. Another three-point try. No! And a slam follow! Diakite soared out of nowhere to stuff it home.
Mike Cousins on ESPN Radio. Virginia beats Louisville 75-58. Cal State Northridge Athletic Director Brandon Martin is now being accused of battery by his former basketball coach Reggie Theus. Theus was fired on Tuesday, and he says there was an altercation between the two men. Theus is a former NBA player and had coached the Matadors for 5 seasons. From Major League Baseball, Yankees outfielder Aaron Judge says he's leaning toward not competing in the Home Run Derby again. Judge won the event last year.
You know, when something's so obvious they call it a no-brainer? Well, here's the big one. Barbasol is finally making razors. Introducing the Barbasol Ultra 6 Plus. It's got 6 ultra-thin blades for a close, comfortable shave. You can go to Barbasol.com right now and save some money. That's a no-brainer, too.
Live from the AmeriGas Propane Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Hour number 2, Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio. Thanks for tuning in to it. I'm Jeff. That's Tom. We're online, ESPNTallahassee.com. That's where you go to listen live via the streaming. It's free. If you miss portions of the program, you can get caught up by going back afterwards. We'll post all 3 hours, both on iTunes and in our own audio vault. You can also email the show if you like. It's jcs@ESPNradio.com. On Twitter, it's @JCameron Show. WTSM app, good for mobile devices. On YouTube, it's ESPN Tallahassee. Hope you're well. Thanks for watching. I'm going into that basketball coma, that place where you sit and do not move and watch hours upon hours of even tournaments you don't even care that much about, and have talked about how it is that you don't like conference tournaments, but you can't help yourself and you watch no matter what.
It is fun to have it on during the day.
It is. It's between that and the Valspar going on right now. By the way, Tiger Woods 2 under in Tampa. Okay.
First page of the leaderboard. That's what I've been locked into during the breaks is watching every move I can, because this is it's such a unique story. If he comes back and plays like he's projecting to play right now, he'll be a top 20 player in the world again. And it was thought for years that had zero chance to happen. That's compelling television every week.
Certainly very little chance, and it's good for the game, and I agree. I'm having fun with it. It's enjoyable. It's the kind of thing that will draw people back to golf. They've really got to figure out, I mean, golf's in a healthy place, by the way, but in terms of the ratings, you're never gonna be able to supplant Tiger. I mean, what he does for the uptick in viewership, sponsorship, monies, purses, all that stuff is undeniable. And the tour right now is like, what? The gift that keeps on giving is back.
Yeah.
But what are we going to do when he's actually 50 and cannot compete any longer? Because that time is near.
Well, hopefully we have all of 5 to 8 years to figure out before he really is Steve Stricker useless to the point where, I mean, Steve declared himself Champions Tour full time. So
yeah, he did.
Well, you see, Jordan Spieth is struggling with the Tiger deal today. He's not been playing well anyway, but last week he had a top 20, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
And he's +4, and he's in the same group with Tiger, who's -2.
So I may have mentioned that one of the things that was really interesting about the Tiger effect in his last tournament, not Mexico because he didn't play in that, but the previous, was that Riviera? No, that was the Honda.
Yeah.
So at the Honda was that everybody, save for Saunders, the kid.
Yes.
Save for Saunders, everybody who played with him played poorly, which has always been part of his lore anyhow, that if he finds himself near the top of the leaderboard going into the weekend, he's going to be paired with other greats, and for whatever reason, time and again, those greats wilted just being with him. And that effect hasn't been in play for a very long time. And the debate was, would any of these kids who weren't here for him to dominate the way that he did all of those veterans, Phil and the like, for years, would they feel the same sort of reverence towards Tiger Woods that would let them kind of maybe overthink it a little, begin to succumb to nerves, whatever that might be? So few people in the annals of the last, 25 years of golf really stood up to him in a way that you would, and usually it was the random Joe who had nothing to lose, the Bob Mays of the world, the Y.E. Yang, whatever it would be, that you're like, what is Y.E. Yang doing? Oh, hitting a 3-wood over a palm tree 330 yards to the green. Okay.
Fist pumping and looking at Tiger.
Holding up his bag for the world. But it was always guys like that where you're like, oh, really, Bob May? You're going to make a 25-footer here on 16? That's what you're going to do?
Yep.
Yeah. So it was, it was crazy that all of those great players seemed to be affected in that way. And now I wonder, because right off the bat, as soon as he started playing well at the Honda, everybody he played with wilted, save for the kid.
Right, and Jordan's got, issues again heading into this tournament. So it's not like he's playing perfectly and he's playing Justin Thomas level and now he's playing with Tiger and he wilts. But I think there is a difference here with this Tiger. I think the players know. If you played with him 2 years ago as he's trying to come back.
They knew he couldn't play. Pat Perez.
Now he can.
Listen, Perez ripped him when he ripped him, and he actually ripped him in a way that wasn't all that salacious. And Perez is now a top 15 player, so he can kind of get away with it a little bit more. But he came back from his own injuries. Remember what he said, and it interested people because he was bold enough, A, to speak out, and B, he basically said, listen, two things are going to happen here on this comeback. He's only going to play courses that he's performed really exceptionally well at, A, which turned out to be true, and B, it's just not there right now. I'll be surprised if he gets through these tournaments without withdrawing. Remember he said that, and it happened because he knew he was hurt, and he knew the club head speed wasn't there.
Yeah, it was almost a year ago that he said that now, or a little bit over a year ago.
So, it was more than that.
I play the audio, but it's 2.5 minutes.
No, you don't have to do it. But the point would be they had seen him in limited outings. This is before the final back surgery, right? They had seen him in charitable events, and they had gone to a couple things, and they could see that it's one thing to go out and shoot a number at a local club with friends and post a 74 and have those people be wowed, and a whole nother to hit the ball in a way that gets the attention of a tour player. Shaping, club head speed, spin rate, all of the stuff that they know and they can hear and see immediately because they play with the best in the world every week. A lot of those guys who got the chance to play with Tiger prior to him getting healthy, really healthy, said everything but the fact that he wasn't capable of doing what was necessary to put up numbers on the PGA Tour for 4 rounds, tournament conditions, like those guys are. So don't get fooled when you see him putting up this low number at a club that he likes to play at with friends, non-tournament conditions. Because we'd hear those stories, right? And Perez and other people's points, that's not a 4-round tournament set up by the PGA, with
right.
those. So now that he's done that, and he had, second in driving distance?
Yeah, second or third, and then, in proximity
to the hole, spin rate, club head speed.
Yeah.
All of them were top 10s.
Yes, yeah.
Well, now, what are we doing here?
Right.
You hit a ball 358 yards.
And he doesn't have the yips around the green either.
Yeah. So now the story changes because he's legit again, and they can see it. He's playing like the guys do on tour. He's got the same club head speed. He's got the same ability to move the ball in the way that they do.
Well, and the thing, other than the majors, and even not then as much as, the people who follow Tiger, the galleries, they're rabid. It would be akin to like a AA lifer. A AA lifer going to Yankee Stadium for a playoff game. I mean, that's what it's like in terms of a difference. You play the course, there are quite a few people out here. Yeah. This is nice. Nice gathering, 16, 17, 18. They got some tents. They got some seats. This is cool. Once in a year, we'll play out in Arizona, and that's pretty cool, too. With Tiger, that's every hole every day he plays. And you could tell it wears on people, especially the Thursday, Friday partners. You got 2 days of that where people are moving around because once Tiger hits the ball, everybody's in motion to go to his next shot. And they don't care that you're in the group playing with Tiger. And Tiger doesn't either. Tiger kind of likes it. So if some guy starts talking because Tiger's done and you still have to clear the fairway and approach to the green, he doesn't care about you.
Did you see Stats and Info's information they sent out regarding Tiger's participation in the Valspar? It's the 4th time since the start of 2012 and the first time since August of 2015 that he is playing a PGA Tour event for the first time as a professional. Tiger Woods has kept a tight and familiar schedule, making the this week's appearance almost somewhat of an anomaly. It's the first time since 2015, and as I just noted, the other numbers, that he's doing this as a PGA Tour event as first time as a professional. The other ones, this is since 2012. Wyndham Championship, he finished tied for 10th back in 2015. 2012, the Greenbrier Classic, he missed the cut. 2012, the Honda Classic, which he's always liked, he'd finished tied for 2nd. And then Valspar's now, so we'll see.
Yeah.
So
no, Tampa never expected him to play this event.
No.
I mean, Palm Harbor, I should say. But, yeah, it's just not in his – it's not on his itinerary. But he doesn't have the luxury anymore. He needs more rounds. If he had qualified for the WGC Mexico last week, 0 chance he plays this week. But because he didn't do well enough to qualify for that, I think he had to win outright to make it. Then this was in play once again.
Well, and he's committed to play each of the next 2 PGA Tour tournaments, including this one. So he's playing again after this, right after it, and then the Masters.
Yeah.
He's in.
Well, he's building back up. Now,
in.
if he gets to where he's going, this may be the one and only Valspar Tour ever. Even though the course is a lot better than it used to be. It doesn't fit his eye.
He does not qualify for the WGC Dell Technologies match play at the end of the month, so he can't play that even if he wanted to, as he continues to build back up his ranking, which he is doing, by the way. Another fine performance here, and that number is going to shoot way up. He's already gone from 568th or whatever to, I think I saw 300.
300 and change.
Yeah, and they said if he has a great performance here, he could be in the 100. That's going to be a fun rise, right? Because if we have Brandel Chambly and others have talked about this too. If he's just going to continue to play now and he's going to play a lot of events and he's going to continue to make the cut, well, he'll be a top 50 player by the end of the year very easily.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, he already looks like an above-average tour pro with the ability to, listen, his history suggests that he's not going to stop there.
It's cool.
I think he's going to be a top 20 player in the world again. Right now, he's at 1 under par. He just bogeyed the last. So he's on 13. If you want to get out of work early and go find Golf Channel, go ahead. But it's good TV.
BC's not going away. ACC tournament update. Clemson only leads 68-64 with 3:44 to play.
There's plenty of time to go.
They are rallying strong. Also out of the...
You like the BC team, don't you?
I do like them because they kind of overachieve.
If you didn't, you wouldn't have made that update happen.
Well, I mean, that's what's going on right now. We're not left. I mean, we got...
I know.
Yeah, I mean...
But you're happy that game's close.
I like BC. I mean, I just do. But my brother is up there, I've told you before. He's been on the tower in Logan for a long time, and lives in New Hampshire, but I like that area. Anyhow, I wouldn't want to live there. It's freezing cold, but I do like the area. 68, 64. Plus, I love Adazio, so it carries over to all things, And they play great hockey.
That they do.
So there's a lot to like.
That in Boston University.
Yeah. Arizona leads Colorado 37-35, which always screws me up because I forget that Colorado's in the Pac-12 and shouldn't be. UNLV 45, Nevada 40. That's a upset-minded run here. And Kansas at halftime, Oklahoma State and Kansas 43-42. Fun game to watch.
Okay. Fighting for their lives.
Earlier, Virginia knocked off Louisville 75-58 and looked every bit like the Virginia team that dominated the ACC this year as Kyle Guy. He's the guy. 19 points, 7 boards, and assist.
I'm not your guy, pal.
That guy's good, man.
Not your pal, friend.
It's really annoying is what it is. There are other games that you don't care about. Of course, later tonight at 7 o'clock. Notre Dame-Duke, we'll be watching. Notre Dame wins that game. I think they're in. Without question. I don't think they're in if they win that game. They lose it, it becomes a question mark because, remember, they went 8-10 in the ACC. They would be 20-14 if they lose tonight. And while Matt Farrell's played really well, getting Bonzi back has been a huge deal. So it'll be interesting to see how the committee looks at them.
We'll actually join that game in progress right here on 97.9 ESPN Radio after the soccer guys are over at 7:30.
Yeah, good times. By the way, roadie for the weekend, Florida State, 3-game set starting tomorrow against Wake Forest. Did not realize that Wake is struggling now. They've changed the scheduling for this. They're going to play tomorrow, and then they're going to play a doubleheader on Saturday.
Beginning at 2 p.m.
In climate weather there, really up and down the East Coast in climate weather, including some would say in Florida, where it's going to be rainy, overcast, and downright cold for March in the state of Florida. So it's kind of changing the schedule.
That's okay.
I don't mind cool weather. I mind the rain. I don't need all that. What are we doing here? Trying to play some golf, do some things, go out to my son's baseball and soccer games? You're trying to go to Valspar?
I am.
Nobody got time for this?
I'll try and make it down. We'll see. But Tiger just lipped out for bogey at the previous hole, and now his tee shot on the 13th, the par 3, sitting down in a couple inches of rough.
It's all unraveling.
It is.
Well, not that many scores under par today. It's been really windy in Tampa. The weather coming, that's not going to be so nice.
Well, Gulf Coast breeze grew up playing off of that stuff.
Well, but you couple it with cold air and the ball doesn't travel, and so you got some tough conditions down there today. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
For moving furniture, ripping out old carpet, fees others charge for their free carpet installation, we don't. For carpet installation that really is free, start with the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. Valid on carpet priced $1 or more per square foot. Specialty items may be priced separately. License numbers including CGC 1514813 and CRC 046858. Available at homedepot.com/license numbers.
Games for Less, the only locally owned and operated gaming store in town, has Tallahassee's largest selection of new and used video games and game systems. The future of video gaming is at Games for Less, where they have both the PS4 and Xbox One. It's time to trade in your old systems and elevate your gaming experience now. Games for Less is also your headquarters for the best in retro gaming. Atari 2600, original Nintendo, Super NES, or Sega Genesis, you name it. They got it at Games for Less. Games for Less, the Super Walmart Shopping Center on Appalachia Parkway. Give them a call today at 850-219-3535. That's Games for Less.
When you run a growing business, you wear a lot of hats. The I ordered it hat, the Mr. Fix-It hat, the it's taken care of because I handled it yesterday hat. My favorite hat? My I received an order from Grainger hat. I look my best in that one. Grainger's got the products I need and gets me them when I need them, no matter what hat I'm wearing that day. You know what? I love Grainger. You know why? Because Grainger's got my back. Call clickgrainger.com or stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Don't just listen to The Jeff Cameron Show. Watch it live. The Jeff Cameron Show Streamcast. Live weekdays 3 to 6 p.m. Head to ESPNTallahassee.com today to watch live or catch up on demand. The Jeff Cameron Show Streamcast. Brought to you by Nice Tire and Auto, your trusted Goodyear dealer. 574-4100. And presented by TNT Supercenter in Thomasville, Georgia. And Franklin Spring Creek Ford.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show on ESPN Radio.
Bomani Jones with us now.
Stu Gods.
Yes.
Who are your two favorite bands in the world?
Grateful Dead and Pearl Jam.
White guys. White. All right. Who's a better singer, Eddie Vedder or Prince? Prince.
Eddie
Who's
Vedder.
better at playing rhythms, Stone or Prince? Prince.
Yeah.
Who's better at playing lead guitar, McCready or Prince? Prince. Who's better at bass, Amen or Prince? Prince. Who's better at drugs, whoever that dude is doing that bad John Bonham impression for Pearl Jam or Prince?
Yeah.
Prince.
Yep.
Who's better at playing guitar, Jerry Garcia or Prince?
Jerry Garcia.
Prince.
Jerry Garcia.
Prince is a better guitar player than Jerry Garcia. Hate to break it to you, homie. It's just what it is.
The Dan Le Batard Show. Weekdays at 10 a.m. on 97.9 ESPN Radio. This is the Jeff Cameron Show. Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
You're to even par, another bogey. We spoke way too soon about all this Tiger Woods nonsense.
It's a tough course today.
He's at even. Even's not bad. You know who's sucking? Jordan Spieth again. Breaks my heart. Really hate to see a young man struggle so much. Is he +4 currently? I believe that's correct.
+4. He's got a little short
Yeah,
par putt here.
That's tough. What's going on at the NFL Combine?
Just missed a 3-footer for par.
Tiger did?
No, Spieth.
Oh.
That'll be +5. But, Jeff, he looks at the cup when he's putting the short ones. Let's see if he stares at the cup.
Back to this. What's going on at the NFL Combine that this is the second or I think third time now that they're going to have a long talking to with the powers that be about the kinds of questions you ask kids at the Combine during the interview portion. Darius Geis thought that it was a little much. People asking him about his sexual preference, whether or not he liked men, which is irrelevant.
That's not what you do.
And then later, questions about his mother being a prostitute.
That's not what you do.
That's the second time that's come up, that particular question.
It is. He said, some people really try to get into your head and test your reaction. I go in a room and a team will ask me, do I like men, just to see how I react. I go in another room, they'll try to bring up one of my family members or something and tell me, hey, I heard your mom likes to sell herself. What do you think about that? I think I'm about to come across the table and beat the bejesus out of you. What in the world? And, of course, that's not the reaction you would have, although you would feel compelled in the moment, but you would gather yourself. But I don't know. Again, I don't know what the point of that is.
My answer to that is I don't want to play for you.
Geist did not say which NFL team asked him those questions, but Pro Football Talk, citing a source with knowledge of the situation, confirmed that Geist was in fact asked if he liked men. A question such as that is completely inappropriate and wholly contrary to league workplace policies, said the NFL in a statement today. The NFL and its clubs are committed to providing equal employment opportunities to all employees in a manner that is consistent with our commitment to diversity and inclusion. State and federal laws and the CBA were looking into the matter. The problem is it's the second time they've had to look into the matter. In 2016, the Atlanta Falcons had a coach ask Eli Apple whether or not he liked men. The coach was Marcon Manuel. He was later forced to apologize. Dan Quinn said the organization took measures to make sure it didn't happen again. Called it disappointing and clearly inappropriate. The league also conducted an investigation back in 2013 after 3 draft prospects said they were asked a series of questions centered around their sexual orientation. In addition, of course, you can go all the way back. I remember the well-publicized one of the Dolphins GM, Jeff Ireland, who had to apologize to Des Bryant for asking during a pre-draft visit. And this wasn't even part of that normal combine interview process. This is a pre-draft visit. He asked him if his mom was a prostitute.
Yeah, that's the one I remember.
A lot of times I can kind of think a little bit outside the box and ask myself, after taking a step back and hearing something that would be obviously unnerving for a person in that situation, unsettling to say the least, maybe even offensive for some, and kind of get into and have some fun with delving into the idea of, all right, there's a psychology behind this, that there's a study that they're able to cite where if you ask certain provocative, polarizing, offensive questions to people, in how they react will reveal to you certain other elements of their personality type, which you could then mine to decide whether or not they're suited to play whatever position or whatever else. This wouldn't be one of those because I can't fathom what that is.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but a job's a job. So what job interview is going to ask you these questions? What profession?
The FBI.
And football relates to the FBI how?
No, you're acting like I'm saying it's okay. I'm saying that I understand.
I'm saying I agree.
Right.
It precisely would be my point.
Right.
The FBI, a life and death organization.
Right. Well, if you're working, yes, where you could be gotten to by spies, et cetera, things like that, where knowing that sort of thing, your sexual orientation, could matter. Literally could. Not because of a judgment, but because they would seek to get to you.
Yeah.
In certain ways.
The importance of being an NFL football player, like the importance of that job, is it closer to a desk job or the FBI?
Right.
Probably a desk job.
No, there's no reason. It doesn't make any sense. I don't know. I would like to find out. I am curious. Clearly, these guys are working from the same playbook because it goes across organizations. This isn't the first time, second time now, we know not even the third time, that similar type questions and insinuations have occurred. So I want to know who they're talking to, and I want to know what the root of it is. I guarantee you, even though this is wildly inappropriate, I guarantee you they didn't think it through, and they were probably told by somebody that would reveal certain aspects of somebody's personality.
Yeah, it can't be so lowbrow as to say that I want to see how he reacts to trash talk.
Right. That's what I mean.
It can't be that simple.
Be that. Right. Okay, so go all the way back to the Des Bryant situation with Jeff Ireland. We thought that was a one-off moment where maybe they knew something about I don't know about Des Bryant's life, okay? I know that he came into the league a troubled kid.
That was the talk, yes.
Okay, we know he came in a troubled kid. He had problems off the field, and they were trying to figure out whether or not this guy was going to be a problem for them. He was an immense talent, but was he going to be a problem for them? And if teams knew about his troubles of the past, would they use that against him? Would players use that against him? Would he snap? And remember, early on in Dez Bryant's career, you had a situation where Dallas literally had to hire somebody to walk around with him because he was getting in trouble all the time when he'd go places. So it was a volatile situation with a very talented player, and they didn't know what to do, and Jeff Ireland, being a moron, decided to ask him about his mom being a prostitute. And I remember thinking at the time, I don't know anything about his background. That seems wildly inappropriate to me, but maybe his mom was a prostitute, and he wants to see how he's going to react when players in the league find that out and start trash talking. At that time, that's what I thought he was doing, and that he wasn't thinking it through. But now I don't think that. Now I think that there is somebody telling these executives that, hey, ask this question. It's wildly inappropriate and offensive. We'll see how they respond. I'm telling you, you're going to learn a lot about your player. Because it's too many times.
This is a question that's worth calling up Charlie Campbell for. You know, well, what's the deal here? You've been around a lot of scouts and front offices, and you talk to these people.
2013, 3 draft prospects. 2010, 2016, Falcons coach admits to doing it, saying it to Eli Apple. Now this year, Geis and another player who remained anonymous, saying that he was asked about his sexual preference and some other inappropriate questions, quote unquote. So this, and listen, it's not. Look, we have Atlanta, we have the Giants, we have Dallas, we have Miami.
Right. Different ownership types, different front office types.
Right.
Yeah.
So this didn't stem from nothing. They were told somewhere along the way by some psychiatrist or somebody that this is...
This one's easy for the commissioner's office, isn't it?
Oh, very.
Zero tolerance moving forward.
But they screwed up the last time. All they did was give them a sternly written reprimand, but with no consequence. There was no, if you do this again, here's what's going to happen. Instead, it was a slap on the wrist, don't do that. Or what? There is no or what. They didn't have an or what. So they did it again. Now you do have to come out, and especially with today's climate, you have to be mindful of what's happening and understand where you are. What are they doing?
Well, you penalize this most recent incident to whomever it is that asked the question, and you get together with the GMs and you say, guys, do I really have to put a third-party NFL official in the room when you interview players? Do I have to do that? Because the Players Association can rightfully be angry about this nonsense.
They are. They've already said it.
But do I have to put a stenographer? Do I have to put a stenographer in there that is paid for by the league in order to make sure that every question is documented through this process? Because that's where it seems it has to go. Because you guys can't stop asking ridiculous questions.
At the end of the day, you just find somebody. I mean, you take their money. You take the money. It's always the money. Like a very serious penalty for violating this. You could go as far as to exclude them from the process, and that would be seriously damaging, not to allow them to attend the combine.
Yeah.
I mean, you could do that.
You could bar them from that, yeah.
You could do that.
I really would at this point. I'd say, listen, this is now, the 5th or 6th time we've had an incident like this that we know of?
That we know of. Like, how many guys have been asked really wildly inappropriate things that just didn't come forward with?
Right. Like, you coaches,
I always understood.
Do you enjoy asking those questions? Do you have a weird thing about asking weird questions to people?
But I always understood the idea that when you would take the questionnaire and they'd ask you if you liked kittens or puppies or, dogs or cats.
Yeah, they're getting at something.
Yeah. But that seemed okay. Like just a personality type, a profile, if you will. Well, we can have a lot of fun with this.
Okay, but wait a minute. Is this a Scantron test, or is this an official asking somebody verbally? That would be interesting.
No, this was an official asking somebody verbally, just as it was in Atlanta, where a coach, Manuel, asked a player if he liked men.
If there was like a questionnaire, right, and they're trying to get a rise out of you or see if you're paying attention, that's kind of standard fare. But if it's an interview process and a guy, like, how does it even happen? So what do you think about the spread offense? Is your mom a hooker? Like, what?
How do you even build up to about the spread offense? I'll get to the hooker thing in a moment, please. It's bizarre, right? Jeff, we loved your 40 time. You really wowed us today, and 28 reps at 225 is very impressive. Does it bother you that your mom's a prostitute? Well,
you say she isn't? That's not what I heard. Like, come on, man.
Jeff Cameron, Show 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Why does Mahindra have 97% satisfaction? Ask our owners.
This gives me the ability to do what I want to do when I want to do it.
Altimas, Maximas, and Rogues have savings up to $6,000. Titans have 0% for 72 months. Available no money down and no payments until June. At Kraft Nissan, our prices and discounts cannot be beat because we share our fiscal year-end bonus with you. Kraft Nissan on Mahan Drive between Academy Sports and Costco. Financing through NMAC with approved credit.
Meet Zelle, a new way to pay. It can send money fast to Ray. I'll pay back half the bill for the tapas we ate, so he knows it wasn't a date.
Oh.
Zelle's safe and fast. I'll pay back Bree.
Thanks.
Who bought tickets to the symphony, and send money to my cousin Matt, who volunteered to watch my cat.
The new way to send money from your banking app, Zelle. This is how money moves. More info at ZellePay.com.
Must have a bank account in the U.S. to use Zelle. Transactions between enrolled users usually take minutes.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
Nice Tire and Auto, just minutes away from FSU campus. AmeriGas Propane would like to take this time to thank their valued customers for their business. At AmeriGas, serving their customers in a safe and responsible manner is their top priority. They're proud to be a part of the local community and participate in the many activities that support local charities and organizations that improve the neighborhoods where we all work, live, and play. For your propane needs, call on AmeriGas Propane. Call 877-1122.
Reminiscing with Amazon Music.
Remember Coach's halftime speech back in junior high?
That song he played probably won us the game.
What was it again?
Alexa, play the song that goes, burning with determination.
Rediscover the songs that defined a moment in time. Amazon Music, the simplest way to listen to the music you love. New customers start your 30-day free trial at AmazonMusic.com. Renews automatically, cancel anytime.
Protect your home and your family. The Parker Brothers tell you the truth. We'll fix your roof, 'cause it's what we do. With quality, integrity, and pride. Parker Brothers Roofing, professional every time. Stay safe and dry inside.
Customers constantly tell us that they're getting several estimates to compare apples to apples. You ever bite into an apple and find out the inside is rotten? Cheap roofing quotes are just like that rotten apple. Quote looks shiny and delicious because it's the cheapest, right? But you wind up with that rotten apple that leaks or starts to fail immediately. All roofing quotes are not equal. Cheap estimates equal cheap materials, subpar labor, or both. For quality that lasts, call us at 656-8112.
Parker Brothers Roofing, professional every time. Stay safe and dry inside.
License number CCC 049350.
Spring into savings with DeWalt and Cornerstone Tool and Fastener. Buy one DeWalt 20-volt Max XR lithium-ion brushless premium hammer drill and impact driver combo kit with a 5-amp-hour battery and receive $100 off instantly. But wait, you get one of the following DeWalt Bear tools for free: a 5-inch grinder, recip saw, circular saw, or an LED spotlight. Come check out all of the new DeWalt products at Cornerstone Tool and Fastener. While you're there, check out the most powerful cordless kit on the planet, FlexFold. Cornerstone Tool and Fastener, online at ctf.nu.
Live from the AmeriGas Propane Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio. It's a final. Clemson does beat BC 90-82, and Clemson will advance to their first ACC semifinal since 2011. They'll play Virginia on Friday night at 7 o'clock. Been a fine year at both of those institutions. Virginia keeps on keeping on, really making quick work of everybody. I'm amazed at the consistency for the style that they play. And then Clemson's had a real good year and a nice team.
As the day has gone on, any different feeling about Duke, Notre Dame?
Well, I think you're right when we were talking about it earlier. I believe that Notre Dame will be the more inspired, desperate team, and certainly now that Bonzi's back, they're capable of beating Duke, and you wouldn't bat an eyelash. But I don't know that they'll have the legs to accomplish that. If they do, though, I think they will play with greater desperation. But, of course, double byes are a big deal. Getting time off and not playing while everybody else is going to battle there, that can make it tough.
Well, Colson's legs were a concern last night on the broadcast. Yeah. Allison Williams asked their head coach, Bray, about is he available in the second half. He goes, well, he needs to be. If he needs me to get him in and out, I will, but he needs to play about 18 minutes for us to have a chance this half because they were down so much to Virginia Tech. And I think that lead it swelled up to 21 for the Hokies.
21-22, and they came all the way back. In fact, at one point, I was disgusted because I just wanted to see an entertaining game, and I flipped away and then came back to it when it cut down to, I think it was 10 or 9 or something. Oh, okay, here we go, game on. But, yeah, that way he was instrumental in that, and he's got to play, obviously, and play really well. I think if you're Bray and you were to phrase it this way, and I don't know that imploring somebody and expressing desperation can change physical problems, but if you are able to say in the locker room tonight, I don't care what happens after this game. In fact, we could lose by 105 to whomever we play next. This, you know what? You see what I'm saying?
This is it.
This is it. This is it. You want to make the tournament. We win tonight. We are in. Let's go.
Even if that's a lie, because you're not sure if you are in the tournament.
Yeah, but I don't think it's much of a lie. I think he's right. I think if he said that, if he did that, they're in if they win. I believe that. I think there's a push for Notre Dame right now. Lenardi said as much this morning, and for good reason. You got to evaluate them differently. And so if, in fact, they play well in this game, win this game, lay it all on the line, I think they will have done enough and they'll get in.
Well, and again, nobody has a problem with that, I don't think, other than the other teams in the bubble, because in years past, teams have been penalized with either seedings or being left out, whatever it is, because they had a star player get hurt down the stretch. So, you drop from a 3 to a 6 because your best player isn't available. If they're going to do that for the negative, then they need to do that for the positive. But Notre Dame I think they got to do more. They got to win tonight. I don't think a good performance by itself is enough.
It's going to be close. I think it'd be a coin flip. Otherwise, win tonight, you're in. I would give the win one for the Gipper speech tonight if I were, and it's appropriate.
Yeah.
I would do that tonight and lay it. But I don't know, again, if simply imploring somebody to play with greater desperation can overcome the physical wear and tear that their legs feel at this point. I mean, you can want to do a lot of things, but at some point you're physically spent. By the way, free agency in the NFL, a week away. I get excited about that. The NFL did release their salary cap numbers for all 32 teams in the league, and the league salary cap was set at $177,200,000. Every team has a different cap number based on how much unused cap money it rolled over from the 2017 season. So there's an adjusted cap number for all 32 teams, which the NFLPA put out, which I think is cool. And you can now calculate how much cap space each team currently has to work with a week out from the start of free agency. The Browns and others have, a lot. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, if you're wondering, Tom, and I have a suspicion that you are, have the fifth most amount of money to work with.
Yep. The problem is that you have two big contracts looming, so some of that is fake money moving forward. Now, for a short-term 1-year rental or 2-year deal where you can rework it, you're in really good standing for that type of a free agency move.
Not surprising, Cleveland has the most. The Jets have the second most. The Bears have the third. Fourth is Indianapolis. Fifth is Tampa Bay, with gobs of money to spend, $73 million.
Woo.
So you can Cleveland's got 108. I mean, so I guess what I would tell you is I think you do need to sign somebody, and you can make a splash. You can make one big splash. You can.
Man, it's not my money one way or the other, but it is a really good thing they put a wage scale down for rookies. Or else none of these teams would have any money because the Browns would be picking top 5 every year and be signing guys to record contracts.
Well, it used to kill them. When quarterbacks didn't work out as selected by the Browns ordinarily, you were done for years to come.
They have a fighting chance to be 8-8 or 9-7 in a year or two.
Every year. They have a chance to be 8-8 next year.
But they wouldn't have a prayer if they had failed this many times in the draft as they have and have, paid a top 5 pick what a top 5 pick was paid before the rookie wage scale was in effect. And they'd be completely done. They wouldn't have room for anybody.
Let me tell you something. If you're one of those busts at quarterback that the Browns took or any other team took for that matter, and right before all of this happened, you were a lucky cat that you happened to be born, emerge as an elite college football player at just the right time to take advantage of a system that had yet to be altered.
Yeah, Sam Bradford is not a bust necessarily, but he wasn't a first overall pick's return on an investment. And that
money goes on for days. Well, and for that matter, again, any of the top flight quarterbacks that were taken by the Browns, no.
Any of them. All of them.
Yeah. Any of them.
Brandon Weeden.
Oh, no. Still hurts your feelings. God, do you think Browns fans hear the name Brandon Weeden and go, damn it.
He was 26.
He was terrible. We already knew it. It wasn't like he was even good in college.
I'm talking tough, like a steam. Truck always enough. I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this. It's right here, guys. We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Smoother, bolder, sharper, comfier, smarter, fiercer, tougher, stronger, longer, greater, prouder. Gravely zero-turn mowers.
But now, galloping out of the arid Texas plains, a wily young upstart, Kelly Clarkson. As Blake Shelton finally met his match, can Kelly take down the country king?
I am a country girl. I'm gonna win!
Find out on America's favorite, The Voice, Monday on NBC.
Yamaha Outboard. Live and breathe life on the water. The Key to Reliability sales event is going on at Mike's Marine Supply in Panacea through March 31st. For a limited time, purchase a new select-eligible 2.5 to 300 horsepower Yamaha Outboard and choose either 5 years of warranty protection or up to $1,500 in dealer credit. Mike's Marine Supply, the only full-line Yamaha dealer in this area. 1296 Coastal Highway, Panacea, Florida. Call them at 984-5637 or online at mikesmarineflorida.com.
When you run a growing business, you wear a lot of hats. The I ordered it hat, the Mr. Fix-It hat, the it's taken care of because I handled it yesterday hat. My favorite hat? My I received an order from Grainger hat. I look my best in that one. Grainger's got the products I need and gets me them when I need them, no matter what hat I'm wearing that day. You know what? I love Grainger. You know why? Because Grainger's got my back. Call clickgrainger.com or stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
If you're a small business, first impressions can make all the difference. With Grasshopper, you get all the features of a professional business phone system on your mobile phone. Choose a business phone number, make calls, and send texts. Stay connected and work from anywhere with features like Wi-Fi calling and our desktop app. Set up your account in minutes with no long-term contracts and 24/7 customer support. Make your small business big. Now get $20 off your first month when you visit grasshopper.com/radio. That's grasshopper.com/radio.
If you think trains will stop if they see a car on the tracks, you're right, they will. About a mile after they hit you. In 2015 alone, 230 people were killed at railroad crossings. Don't become the next fatality. Stop. Trains can't. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
You're listening to The Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Happy International Women's Day, ladies. We love you. And that is true. What'd Tiger do there?
Well, he was just off the green on that par 3, I think it was the 15th, and he left his chip in the heart of the cup. About two more revolutions of the ball would have been a birdie. So tap in par. He's still at even par.
My friends at Wash Around the Clock make your life more convenient. That's why I endorse the service, because they've done that for me. They've done that for Tom. And if you'd like to find out what it is we're talking about, just go to TallahasseeLaundry.com. Tom, if you would, cue it up.
Jeff, what's your plan with all of this laundry?
Not my job.
Excuse me, get off the couch already.
Wash Around the Clock's got it. More watching, less washing.
Ooh. Best husband ever.
Very simple procedure here. Go click on Easy Laundry from TallahasseeLaundry.com. Wash Around the Clock, making it really easy at home or your office. I have them come to my office. Ultimate convenience for me. Laundry, dry cleaning, pressing. Yes, it's a good thing. Right here in Tallahassee, a local company, been around since April of 2004. They continue to do great business here locally. We use them all the time. And therefore, I don't spend an inordinate amount of time washing clothes, drying clothes, folding said clothes, putting clothes away. No, I bring them in a big red bag that they provided for me, not one but two, in fact, here to the office and say, take care of this, please. And they do, and they bring it back, and they're folded and or on hangers.
Folded in fine fashion.
Yes, and then those get put back, and I saved myself oodles upon oodles of time. Again, find out what it is we're talking about. Easy Laundry, pick-up delivery at your home or office. It's affordable. It is oh so convenient. Time is money. You're saving a lot of that. TallahasseeLaundry.com. Wash around the clock. So more watching, less washing. This weekend is going to be basketball in Valspar. I don't think I need to say much more than that, although the Lightning do take on the Rangers, and that should be a nice, easy win. I'll take that one.
Hopefully.
Ought to be, but it is hockey. Things can happen.
Things can happen, but in a good spot. It's time to start scoreboard watching if you're a Lightning fan. You need Boston to lose, and you need us to win. It's that simple. It's all eyeing towards a week from Saturday, St. Patrick's Day, Tampa Bay, Boston. That's the first of 3 remaining games between those two teams that are vying for the Atlantic Division title, which matters a lot. Just trust me. Take my word for it.
By the way, are you close yet? Depending on, we're 65 games in, depending on the team. In the NBA season, it's kind of a sad commentary that you got to be 65 games in to an 82-game season before you decide, well, I think it's about time to get acclimated here and start paying attention to the league a little bit, right? I mean, I've been paying attention a little bit more than you have, but I haven't been locked in because, admittedly, it's the NBA, and Golden State and Houston are on a collision course. I do think there is another aspect that could be interesting, and that is San Antonio, if they were to get Kawhi back, and you could get him back for 5 games, 6 games before the end of the season. And we don't know if that's going to happen. It's kind of up in the air. Let's not forget they dispatched of Houston a year ago and made James Harden look like a buffoon. They also were up by 20 points over Golden State before he was maliciously injured.
Yes, by Zaza.
Yes. So now let's say they're an 8.
Yeah.
Or a 7. So if they're an 8 and they have to play Golden State, or they're a 7 and they play Houston, that could get interesting.
Yeah, well, you'd have intrigue in the first round of the NBA playoffs for the first time in
Ever?
years. In years.
Yeah.
I mean, real intrigue.
You would.
But he'd have to play before the playoffs start.
Yes, without question. You'd want to see him round into form of something that's akin to what we've seen him be, right? Yeah, you would. And it's a big if, and I don't know, and it's an interesting developing storyline, possibly.
And there was reports of strife behind the scenes, like he wasn't getting along.
He came out and said he's fine. He's just he'd be willing to finish his career in San Antonio, and that he's hoping to get back this year.
I know, but still, frayed nerves and that kind of stuff, that does not help if you're looking for a seamless transition back to the court.
Well, they're not a happy bunch right now. A lot of things have happened, including having to play an entire season without your best player. But they are 37-27, so they're around.
Yeah,
and
they got Pop.
And
at last check, he's still coaching there.
Yeah, and you get a guy back like that. I mean, he's a huge difference maker. He's one of the 5 best players in the world when he's healthy. So
To answer your question, I think we get to about 72, 73 games, and then
you kinda,
all right, let's see what the seeding looks
just
like.
Just a little bit. Yeah, I got you. Final hour, forthcoming. Stay with Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio. In that hour, by the way, we have some Willie Taggart audio we'll play for you.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck. Always enough, I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Blountstown Highway, 574-4100.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this. It's right here, guys. We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Smoother. Bolder. Sharper. Comfier. Smarter. Fiercer. Tougher. Stronger. Longer. Greater. Prouder. Gravely Zero Turn Mowers.
You're a City of Tallahassee residential, electric, and natural gas customer. You can schedule a free energy audit. Call 891-4YOU. That's 891-4968. And schedule your free energy audit at a time most convenient for you. A message from the City of Tallahassee Utilities. Your own utilities.
The madness is coming to the corner pocket.
They're in trouble. Desperation. Yes!
Choose the place with Tallahassee's best TVs. The Corner Pocket's Vegas Wall. 8 50-inch crystal clear flat screens. You won't miss a second of the action. Corner Pocket's your headquarters for the most watched sporting event in America.
For the win! Good! A miracle!
Delicious food, the best drink specials. Connect to their free Wi-Fi and keep up with your bracket. From the opening tip to the cutting of the nets. Come see why Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
Oh, my goodness!
Landowners, your Mahindra dealer is ready to give you special savings on the toughest tractors and utility vehicles on earth during the Mahindra Red Tag Sale. Hurry in for up to $7,900 in cash back and Red Tag savings. Only from Mahindra.
For more information and to view TNT's huge Mahindra inventory, go to TNTSupercenter.com.
Offer with approved credit. See dealer for details. Program restrictions may apply.
The cut is sharper. The stance is bolder. The rider is comfier. The frame is stronger. The controls are smarter. The handling is smoother. When it comes to professional grade performance, no mower is greater than a Gravely Zero Turn. Be more than just a mower. Be prouder. Be greater. Be a Gravely owner. Gravely, built to mow the distance.
With over 150 of them in stock, the Gravely Zero Turns start at just $28.99. Go to TNTSupercenter.com for current inventory and pricing.
Driving every day from the AmeriGas studios in the capital city of Tallahassee. This is 97.9 ESPN Radio, WTSM, Woodville, Thomasville, Tallahassee.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Doug Brown. The number one team in college basketball cruises in the ACC quarterfinals today.
The Cavaliers looking to push, which you will rarely say in a Virginia basketball game. Another three-point try. No, and a slam follow. Diakite soared out of nowhere to stuff it home.
Mike Cousins on ESPN Radio. Virginia beats Louisville 75-58. Cal State Northridge Athletic Director Brandon Martin is now being accused of battery by his former basketball coach, Reggie Theus. Theus was fired on Tuesday, and he says there was an altercation between the two men. Theus is a former NBA player and had coached the Matadors for 5 seasons. From Major League Baseball, Yankees outfielder Aaron Judge says he's leaning toward not competing in the Home Run Derby again. Judge won the event last year.
You know, when something's so obvious they call it a no-brainer? Well, here's the big one. Barbasol is finally making razors. Introducing the Barbasol Ultra 6 Plus. It's got 6 ultra-thin blades for a close, comfortable shave. You can go to Barbasol.com right now and save some money. That's a no-brainer, too.
Live from the AmeriGas Propane Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Jeff Cameron Show, at least for today. Thanks for tuning to it. Hope you're well. Good times. A lot of basketball out there to be had. A lot of games to watch. A lot of build up to this weekend, right? Plus you throw in the Valspar. Plus Florida State baseball on the road. First big weekend series. Good times. Avoid the rain. The weather's good, too. Get outside and golf, hang out, watch all this goodness here, buddy. I'm in.
Tonight might be a night to enjoy a dinner on the deck somewhere, I think.
I think that's a good plan. We're online, ESPNTallahassee.com. That's where you go to listen live via the streaming. That is free. If you miss anything, all 3 hours going to be posted upon the conclusion of the program, both on iTunes and in our own audio vault. You can always email the show if you like, jcs@979ESPNradio.com. You can find me on Twitter at Jay Cameron Show. While you're on Twitter, you can follow at 979 ESPN Radio, and you'll see the show Periscope from 3 to 6. On YouTube, it's ESPN Tallahassee, and you're watching the show be performed as well. Hello, everybody. And, I think that's everything. JCS@979ESPNradio.com for the email. Boom. Clemson wins again, and they are on to the semis. So you rolled your way into the semis.
All right.
So Clemson having themselves a good ACC tournament. Virginia cruised as well. Tigers at even par at the Valspar. Leaders at -4?
-4, I believe that's right. Yeah.
And
it's a bunch of no names on the top of the leaderboard right now. Seriously.
Well, Snedeker's at 3 under. He's not a no name.
He might have dropped because I didn't see him. They only had a 4 or 5 person little graphic pop up, and I think it's like Kelly Craft and Wee Kim and other people.
All right, the bubble watch is upon us. Here's where we go, and we start to wonder who's what, buzzer beaters and all that good stuff. Other bubble teams that have kind of joined the fun recently and late season runs, Marquette, Notre Dame, Oklahoma State. Other teams that find themselves in bubble standing that are a little bit worried now would be Syracuse and Baylor and Louisville, and we'll see Texas, right? Yeah.
Yep.
So here's where we're at. And I have enjoyed it. Notre Dame with an opportunity tonight. I think most assuredly if they knock off Duke, they'll get into the tournament. That game's tonight at 7 o'clock. I mentioned Syracuse losing, but also Louisville losing. Louisville looked like they had tired legs. I think, again, Florida State's comeback in the second half of yesterday's game kind of led to them having to close it out, and they looked a little slow-legged.
Yeah, agreed. Again, too, Virginia is the type of team that would care about an ACC tournament. They just are. So I think that matters. Well, I mean, if you win the regular season title, you might say to yourself, all right, that's enough. Let's prepare for next week. Play well today, but if if they push you to the brink, it's not that big of a deal. You don't have to attack this thing with great fervor, but Virginia seems to do so. It matters to them greatly to have the sweep between the regular season and the tournament title, it would appear.
They put the banner up for the tournament, not the regular season title. I think that's goofy.
Yeah.
I would flip it, but they do. And so the banner is for the ACC tournament win.
People put banners up for all kinds of stuff. I feel like if you're Virginia and you're a Virginia fan or athletic director or whatever, you could greenlight the project saying you're the ACC regular season champs, and we all know that means more, right?
Yeah, but I don't really think they've had to play over their heads to do what they've done here. That's what's been most impressive is they looked like they were kind of just playing. Louisville was it's a sleepy nooner. Louisville looked tired, and Virginia hit open looks. Virginia went on a 29-8 run, which tells me Louisville couldn't get to their spots defensively, and Virginia knocks down open looks if you give them to them.
Oh, yeah.
And it happened. So I don't know that, I didn't watch a lot of that game. So I don't know if they were diving for loose balls and, the kind of thing you're talking about where the desperation
All I'm
would be
saying
there.
is the bench looked into it, and I think that's a great indicator of whether or not you generally care to be somewhere or not.
Tony Bennett's in an interesting place here, while we're expounding upon Virginia, is he's had a lot of success. They're winning a lot of regular season games, but they haven't been to a Final Four. He's not getting them to the Elite Eight. So a lot of this stuff has been, great. Yeah, but if you're going to play that way, now this is a little bit different looking Virginia team in that they're a little bit more fun to watch, even though their style of play can be very frustrating, as we saw here.
Boa constrictors.
Right. But they have won a lot of games. He's had great records like the one he has against Louisville now, 8-1 since they joined the conference. Tony Bennett has owned them. But there's not a lot of tournament success to show for it. And in a sport where your season is largely judged upon whether or not, A, you make the tournament, and B, what you do once you're there. He hasn't had that validation yet of a deep run in the NCAA tournament. bringing home a conference title would be awfully nice, I would think. And then, obviously, if you want to put the cherry on top, you need to see a Sweet 16 or an Elite 8.
Oh, if you're Virginia,
you probably got to
win in the
8,
second
right?
weekend. You got to get to the Elite 8 at minimum.
I would think, right? I mean, to have it feel like, okay, the season matched the success in the truncated postseason too.
Context matters for expectation too, right? So the year before we won the ACC tournament, we went to the Sweet 16. So I remember thinking, and we talked about it that year, just win a game. Validate what you did last year. You've won the ACC basketball tournament. That in and of itself is almost like its own Sweet 16 berth. Just don't get bounced in the first round of the NCAA tournament.
By the way, the year we made the Sweet 16, if you make one stop or get an inbounds play and you go to the Elite 8.
Yeah, no, it's the inbound. Shaka draws up a play. We don't have anybody on whoever we're supposed to have it on, and it's an easy basket. And then in the second round, the next year, you run into Cincinnati, and the referees decide that it's going to be a free-for-all.
Slappy.
It's going to be 1980s grudge match basketball.
Just go ahead and slap your wrists and hands all about your body. It doesn't really matter. We're not calling this today.
Right, but nobody was mad at us for getting bounced in the second round that year because we won the ACC tournament. We just went to the Sweet 16 the year prior,
I can
and we
assure
won.
you somebody was mad at us.
Well, if we're going to let somebody be the majority or something.
I know. I'm just laughing at that. There's a guy here.
Nobody reasonable. That's what I mean. There's reasonable implied there.
Mm-hmm.
You're not reasonable, you're nobody.
Well, and that's in this discussion. That's true. I just know that short of winning the whole thing, there are people who would think that he can do no right ever.
That's fine. There's a word for that.
Yeah. Multiple.
Yeah.
But there's
another one. There's a stigma word in there too, but there's a word.
We'll see. I'm going to laugh if Florida State does something in the tournament because I have zero expectations that our Noles are going to do a thing right now in that tournament. And I'm never happy to lose a game. I'm never going to sit there and watch a tournament game, and if we were to fall, especially if it were a close game, and say, oh well, but I won't weep and throw out expletives or anything like that because, again, the goal this year was to make the tournament. I think next year, barring sort of injury or anything like that, I'll have higher expectations, actually. I think they're going to be good next year, really good. So this was important. This to bridge the gap. This was a big deal to get there.
I think so, and if they're going to be good next year, the centerpiece is going to be your favorite player. It's going to be Trent Forrest. He would be it's going to have to be an improved jump shot and an ability to distribute with consistency.
It can straight up happen. I was listening last night to the Front Row Noles on my drive home, and that subject was brought up about where Florida State's at, and Tom and Keith were talking about that, and they were speculating on whether or not certain players could take a big leap forward into next year. And Keith's point was, well, it certainly can happen. See Phil Kofer.
Right.
Which, good point. There you go. Yeah, it can happen.
I saw a number today. I forget who it was. It was Ira or Corey from War Chant, but they put out that I think he's quadrupled his career high in three-pointers made this season alone.
Yeah. So all of a sudden you saw an aspect of a game you didn't know existed.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it can happen.
Well,
By the way, this real quick out of the NFL, the Titans are going to release DeMarco Murray. You have any interest in DeMarco Murray?
At the league minimum, yes.
It's for an upgrade. It is an upgrade. Well, that's interesting, right?
Well, what do they know? Because why would you ever upset that apple cart unless Derrick Henry's complaining? Because
I think it's a salary cap move.
To have two backs is,
I just think it's a salary cap move, so they're not going to take that hit. They're going to move on.
Are they really up against it with all that talent they have signed?
I'll have to double check, but I can think. I mean,
they weren't on that list when you listed the top five. So.
Right. So yeah, I would guess that this is a salary cap move. A lot of those being made right now, and also it's interesting to watch.
He ran out of gas by the end of last year, though. I mean, he was Mr. 2 yards a carry.
Well, and Henry suddenly became a beast at the end of last year. Yeah, you got your big back doing damage there. Le'Veon Bell will not get the long-term contract he wanted. Regarding that deal, he'll be tagged again, and he's not happy about it. But he did say that, quote, I won't sit out. I'm not going to sit out this year. I'm trying to stupid pop-up ads every while I'm reading the quote. I'm going to
on
be
WalterFootball.com?
No, I didn't. But it's just every site now decides to be asinine with this stuff.
They're all autoplay now, and you can't disable the autoplay.
So wrong.
Yeah.
So wrong. Anyhow, I'm going to be in the facility week 1. It's going to be a rerun of last year. I'm not going to training camp. I will not do anything else extra. I will not be at OTAs. I won't be doing any of that nonsense. I'll just be there for week 1. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to strictly go to where I have to go and do what I have to do. I want to win every game. I want to have the best statistical career that I possibly can, so I will play in every game that I can possibly play in. But went on to say, you can go to hell if you think I'm going to be at OTAs or any other such workout.
Don't give me this team nonsense. Don't give me this loyalty nonsense.
I kind of understand some of the OTA stuff if I'm a proven badass.
Yeah.
Need me at OTAs running around here. I'm keeping myself in shape. Don't worry about it.
Joey Galloway loves him some Joey Galloway.
Yes,
but
he does.
John Gruden knew enough to know, hey, Monday through Thursday, I don't need you. You just be you on Sunday, and we'll make all that work because you're ancient. And so we don't even want to waste anything. With a running back, even more. Why would you want to waste any tread on the tire for a Thursday or an OTA? That's just crazy. So if I were the Steelers, I'd say that's exactly what I want him to do.
Well, they wanted to avoid a repeat of last year, and they were preparing for Bell to play under the franchise tag. The Steelers restructured Antonio Brown's contract. They freed up $9.7 million in salary cap space. That people thought they were bracing for Bell to play on the tag. As NFL Network insider Ian Rappaport pointed out, moving Brown's money could help the Steelers handle the $14.554 franchise tender. Neither Bell nor the Steelers seem willing to bend on their stance. Bell wants to reshape how running backs are viewed in the league. Pittsburgh says they don't want to destroy the bank for a running back. So we have a disagreement about what a running back is. And I've thought this before. If ever you were going to – he's 26. He has records, by the way, for the most amount of yards from scrimmage through his first 5 years in the NFL. He's freakishly good. The exercise here is, what does a freakishly good running back mean? What is he worth?
Well, and the franchise tag is 14.5. God, that's low.
Yeah, so
he's like Cousins will get paid 21, 25.
He's pissed. And he's saying, look, I do more than just run the ball. He is right about that. He's the most versatile.
Wow, that's just that'll hurt your feelings a little bit.
Running backs don't have the value. We've been talking about this before. I mean, it seems unquestionable that the number one player in this draft, at least just from overall talent, Saquon Barkley, in a bygone era, that's a guy that goes number one. When they used to give the running back 27 carries a game and you rode, an Emmitt Smith type to a championship.
Ride or die.
It's not that way anymore. And these guys don't last like that anymore. And it's tough. I hate it for him. It's a grueling, punishing position, and you got to get paid. This is crazy. I was looking at a number earlier. The next highest paid back in the league is now Devontae Freeman.
Yeah, I was going to guess that.
That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. You know it's ridiculous. You know that is ridiculous.
The fact that he's the second highest paid is ridiculous.
That is ridiculous.
Yes. He's a good player.
They're talking about trading him.
Yeah. If you had to pay big dollars to a tailback right now in the NFL, who would it be?
Le'Veon Bell?
Le'Veon? Still? Not Todd Gurley?
Le'Veon Bell.
Still. Okay, so you think he's got 2 or 3 good years left in him?
He's 26.
I know, but he's got...
I'm going to go with 3 good years left. I don't want to pay that. I understand the Steelers' position. If I were tempted to do it, he'd be the guy.
Yeah.
I love Gurley. But
it's just 5 years of all the touches you have to get to set all-purpose yards or yards from scrimmage records.
He just doesn't look like he's wearing down in any way. You probably don't get it at the back end. I mean, you might get 2 great years like you've just had, and then a third diminishing. But it might be worth doing some sort of a 5-year type thing with him.
That's a fair point, though. The way he runs, he's not Michael Pittman.
No,
he doesn't seek contact.
He's not a reckless, abandoned guy.
He doesn't just run into the line of scrimmage hoping that there's a hole on the other side.
No.
He waits and waits and waits.
Unbelievably for long periods of time.
And then he gets down.
Yeah, it's crazy. Some of those numbers. I get it, man. I feel for the guy a little bit. I mean, he wants to get paid. This is your only chance to really get paid.
Yeah.
And yet the league's the league's view of running backs is shared by me.
Well, but here's the deal. It's okay. So this is the second and final year he can be franchise tagged, right? You can't. You can only do it 2 times in a row,
right?
So you're in a contract year. You do this again. You do what you've done again, and some team will pay you.
But it's going to piss him off because it's
he'll blow out his knee or
it's
something
another
like that.
year and baggage, and that'll be used against you.
Sure. Yeah, man. Let your agent do all the talking and never listen to a word anybody says.
I wouldn't go in that room whatsoever. By the way, as far as the Titans' announcements of DeMarco Murray, the thought was they said he did a fine job on the field, also in the locker room and community. He was a pro in every facet. We wish him and his family nothing but the best moving forward. So they gushed over DeMarco Murray as they released him today in Tennessee.
Footnote from the Valspar, Tiger nearly jars it from 199 out on the 17th, a par 3, nearly a hole-in-one, a tap-in birdie, back to 1 under par.
DeMarco Murray is 30 years old.
I don't know.
He had 659.
Maybe you. I mean, if you could get him for a veteran's minimum, which I don't know that he'd want to play for.
Murray. We're calling it day.
We've talked through it.
Yeah,
this was our front office meeting.
I don't want him to know. Moving on, guys. Next on the agenda. That'd have been a fun meeting.
Darius Geis, 3rd round pick. What do you think?
Here we go. We could have had that discussion. I'm in. Jeff Cameron, Show 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this. It's right here, guys. We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck. Always enough. I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
Landowners, your Mahindra dealer is ready to help you save during Mahindra's Red Tag Sale. Enjoy up to $7,900 in tractor cash back and savings, or utility vehicle savings up to $1,700. Plus, Mahindra's industry-leading warranties still come standard. So hurry in for Mahindra's Red Tag Savings.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
Free delivery within a 50-mile radius of Thomasville and TNT Supercenter. This means you Tallahassee and you too Valdosta. And it gets even better. For a limited time, when you purchase your card at TNT Supercenter, you'll receive huge discounts, up to 30% off on all your accessories. We're talking major discounts on wheels, tires, lifts, seats, you name it. On everything you'll need to customize and personalize your new golf cart. TNT Supercenter has new carts, pre-owned carts, club car and Yamaha carts, even Star EV carts. And when you buy today at TNT Supercenter, they will deliver it for free within a 50-mile radius of Thomasville. Are you listening, Valdosta? Did you hear me, Tallahassee? Over 150 carts in stock with free delivery and huge discounts on accessories. Only at TNT Supercenter, US 19 South, next to the Dairy Queen in Thomasville. View inventory and pricing at TNTSupercenter.com.
Is all your insurance protection under one roof? Make the right choice. Williams Insurance Agency is locally owned and operated, serving Tallahassee and surrounding communities for over 34 years. With access to more than 28 national and Florida-based insurance carriers, they have an independent advantage. Multiple lines of personal, commercial, and life insurance all under one roof. If you don't know insurance, know your agent. Williams Insurance Agency, 2901 East Park Avenue, Suite 2200. Call them today at 877-8555 or visit online at williamsinsurancinc.com.
Nestled in Midtown Tallahassee, you'll find a piece of old Ireland. Finnegan's Wake Irish Pub. Locally owned and operated, Finnegan's Wake is the only pub in Tallahassee with an authentic Irish bar. Finnegan's Wake offers the largest selection of Irish whiskey in town and pours more Guinness than any bar or restaurant from Pensacola to Jacksonville. Open daily from 3 p.m. to 2 a.m., Finnegan's offers live music from local and national acts, karaoke, and hospitality nights, and is Tallahassee's premier viewing location for all professional soccer leagues matches. Finnegan's Wake Irish Pub, right off Thomasville Road next to 5th and Thomas. Come join us for a pint, a match, and more stories.
Games for Less, the only locally owned and operated gaming store in town, has Tallahassee's largest selection of new and used video games and game systems. The future of video gaming is at Games for Less, where they have both the PS4 and Xbox One. It's time to trade in your old systems and elevate your gaming experience now. Games for Less is also your headquarters for the best in retro gaming. Atari 2600, original Nintendo, Super NES, or Sega Genesis, you name it. They got it at Games for Less. Games for Less, the Super Walmart Shopping Center on Appalachian Parkway. Give them a call today at 850-219-3535. That's Games for Less.
Did you know that propane-powered clothes dryers outperform electric models in energy efficiency, drying time, and garment protection? So dry your clothes more efficiently with propane. Propane water heaters give you more hot water at a more affordable price. Compared to electric, energy-efficient propane water heaters can reduce your energy costs significantly. For more information, call AmeriGas Propane here in Tallahassee at 877-1122.
This is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio. Add me to the thousands of other JCS listeners that don't think FSU is getting into the tournament. If I were a selector, the Louisville FSU game was a play-in. Prepare for disappointment. That's from Mario. The
thousands, huh?
Yeah, no. Well, I think he's playing on the fact that there's so many Ham detractors.
Yes.
But that's okay, because just like they're wrong, they'll be wrong again when we get selected to the NCAA tournament, which is going to happen. Now, winning a game in said tournament is a different discussion altogether. Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah. I don't know about all that.
And as a preliminary programming note, whenever the hell we play, we'll have a pregame Jeff Cameron Show special for you next week, but we don't know which day we're playing. Otherwise, it's going to be Westwood One's covered to the NCAA tournament, wall to wall.
Let's brag on ourselves, if only momentarily, here for a second, as a station, not just the Jeff Cameron Show. This really is turning into quite a great thing. I'm very excited about what we're offering, which is really all over the map, but, we have had, of course, and will continue to have the NCAA tournament. I look forward to that, and Westwood One's coverage is sensational. They do a very good job.
Yeah.
And, of course, the Super Bowl, right?
Potentially.
Yeah. It looks like we're going to get the Super Bowl, we think.
Potentially.
So we're waiting to see.
Westwood One has a lot of offerings.
Okay. So
throughout the season.
Yeah, we're looking at a lot of different things, so we'll wait and see. But good things are coming.
Well, they are, when it comes to what they do with March Madness. If you're driving around and you're like, who wants to listen to basketball on the radio? Trust me, I get you, and I understand why you would think that, but they do an incredible job, and they don't stick to a game. If the game is terrible, they will go find you the best game for the best finish. It is as good as radio coverage can get of an event like this. It's really exciting to listen to.
Yeah, no, I actually think they do a good enough job that I find myself listening to basketball on the radio and thoroughly enjoying that.
Last year, whoever was on the play-by-play for the Michigan, I think it was Michigan-Oklahoma State, somebody befell where they fell on hard times because Michigan decided to make 3 after 3 after 3. And you were watching it out on the Mondo
It was
pad
incredible,
outside.
yeah.
I was listening to it in here for a couple of reasons. One, the feed was ahead on the radio, so I was listening to the radio. But the guy, it was like he was calling a prize fight in 1935. It was, I mean, good Lord. This man loved the game he was calling, and it was a great game to boot. It wasn't him trying to force feed
it was
you
a nuts game.
45 to 32.
We kept going, look at this game.
Unbelievable.
3.
Yeah.
3. Okay,
Yeah.
get you some of this. Here's another 3.
We'll have Selection Sunday for you as well, Sunday evening, right here on these airwaves. We'll have the first 4 games next Tuesday and Wednesday night. So if it's part of the NCAA tournament, it's part of the station.
You feel the fever right about now, by the way. It's a lot of fun. It's already started. That's what these tournaments do offer you, is a chance to kind of immerse yourself and prepare yourself for the madness, as they say. Were you watching Colorado and Arizona State as an aside during the little beef at the end of that game, the closing moments of the Pac-12 tournament game? If you missed it, Colorado was up by 9 points with 8 seconds to play when Tyler Bay, the guard for Colorado, decided to throw an oop and they hammered it on Arizona State, who was letting the clock play out.
Yeah.
Upon the alley-oop being completed, the player who dunked it home was shoved to the ground immediately and violently by an Arizona State player who was having none of it.
Sure.
Understandably, at that point, the guard stepped in and was going to get into it, and the coach for Colorado, Tad Boyle, realized we were about to have a really ugly situation.
A brouhaha.
Yeah, and there's a lot on the line. They're moving on. They won the game. They don't need players coming off the bench. They don't need people getting swung on or swinging. And so he hopped up immediately and began to sprint onto the court to break it up and really hurt himself very badly.
Oh, no. Sniper got him?
Yeah, and the calf, the tore a calf muscle. But then, bless his heart, he hobbled his ass out there trying to break this thing
the
up.
adrenaline, right?
Yeah, he hobbled back out there. It reminded me of Jimbo pulling a hammy.
With the that was the Rashad
return.
Green.
I think
it was the Rashad play.
Was it the horse collar at the end, which they don't call?
Man, is it Kermit's play?
I
or
think,
Rashad's play?
I think it's Kermit's play. He's running down the field in this.
My favorite all time about that sideline is I've memorized that game. Both what I saw with my own eyes, which is the more important, and then rewatching it. But when Rashad gets,
you're right. It's Rashad getting the.
I think
it's
it is
Rashad. Yeah, because he's springing.
Because he's also hobbling when he's talking about the horse collar.
Right,
He's like
he's
hurt.
Yeah, he's hurt.
But when Rashad gets turned around for the PI call, and they cut to him, they cut to the replay, and he goes, "Oh, BS!" And you can see it like. You could see him mouthing.
He knows immediately.
And then once the flag starts, he's halfway through saying, the
part.
second part.
He's on to the next play.
And he starts clapping.
Yeah.
But he starts clapping. But that's what the jewelry store in town used as the replay of Jimbo was him clapping.
Which is great.
And if you don't know the context, that's
right
no after
idea.
he yells BS at the top of his lungs.
So that play was, again...
Guess I'm the only one who finds that funny, but I do.
I do find it funny. I'm just getting back to Tyler Bay. And moreover, Tad Boyle injuring his calf while attempting to break up a fight. To his credit, afterwards, he said they were in the wrong. He admitted it, said we should not have done that. It was terrible. I recognize I did not mean for that to happen. I'm sorry. Like, he apologized to Arizona State, its players, its coaches, and then they asked him about his injury, and he said, they're telling me it's a torn calf. Well, it's been years since he's moved that quickly, and there it happens. But, man, that would drive me nuts as a coach. You've played a great game. You're up by 8. The seconds are winding down. The game is over, and you assume your kids have enough sense not to throw an alley-oop while the other team is standing there.
So that makes me think of two things. Number one, it's when Dwayne Bacon crammed at Cameron Indoor at the buzzer to help me cover in the last second of the game. And two, I got to go find it again. It's one of my favorite GIFs, Vines, videos, you name it. It's the coach who was on the wheelie stool, right? He was sitting on the stool on the
and
court.
He just fell back.
And he fell back.
It was his son.
It was his son that made the three.
He made the three, right? And he just fell back.
He just fell.
But
and
he was so happy.
Flying.
But he was just so happy. Remember that? His hands were up. He just,
That's one of the best moments in the tournament in the last 10 years.
It also reminds us both of a certain situation with another chair falling straight back.
Oh, God. Yes, yes, it does.
And you can probably picture that.
I can. Well, no, I picture it as though Zack Snyder was filming it, and it's the comedian falling out of the window in the beginning of Watchmen. Right. Yes, that's how I see it. Everything in the back is obscured and blurry.
I can't even.
Meanwhile, a slow song is playing,
and you going like very slow motion, just turning your head.
Yeah.
Oh, we're off the tracks. There's no way you can steer us to the bottom of the hour, is there?
I can play some music and we'll see what happens. Tell you about some real estate.
Sorry, every now and then, behind-the-scenes conversations make their way onto the show that we're not allowed to expound upon.
Oh, yeah.
And then the
That's
next
a
thing
classic,
you know,
though.
yeah, that's enough.
Maybe if, like, whenever you retire 10, 15, 20 years down the line, we'll tell that story.
Yeah, it's not, it's
part of the victory tour.
Yeah, I think that there's some sort of, people are thinking of something nefarious or awful, and it's not that. But
it's just funny.
It's just ridiculous.
Well, and the reconstruction after that.
Yeah. Jeff Cameron, Show 97.9 ESPN Radio. Willie Taggart had some things to say about the facilities, and we'll talk to him.
Facilities?
We'll talk about it in a moment.
Why does Mahindra have 97% satisfaction? Ask our owners.
This gives me the ability to do what I want to do when I want to do it.
I decided on Mahindra just because of the sheer strength, the size, the ease of the workability, and it was more of a comfortable machine than the others.
You could lift just about anything with that thing. It has never let me down.
And now get the industry's best 7-year limited powertrain warranty on select models.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this. It's right here, guys. We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck, always enough. I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
As champions since Ali was stripped of his title.
Want better gas mileage and a longer-lasting engine? Change your oil every 3 months or 3,000 miles, whichever comes first. You know that sticker on your windshield? Don't look at it now. Wait until the next red light. Okay, check the number on your sticker. Then check your odometer. Is it time? There are 19 Tallahassee area Super Lube locations, which means there's one close to you right now. No appointments, and you're in and out in no time. You could do this today. Super Lube, for better gas mileage and a longer-lasting engine.
How I love to Super Lube my car, yes sir.
Hi,
honey. How was your day?
It was fine. Pretty uneventful. How about you?
Well, I called the auditors this afternoon and made an appointment for one to come out to the house.
Wait, what? Have you lost your mind? Auditors? Why would you call them? Now we have to find our tax returns, paycheck stubs, and financial records, not to mention all those forms. Good grief.
Relax, honey. It's not that kind of auditor.
It's not?
No. I called the City of Tallahassee Utilities and scheduled a free energy audit.
Energy audit?
Right. It's when an energy auditor from our own utilities comes out to the house, examines the structure, and checks our energy and water systems, and then recommends changes we might make to save energy, water, and money.
And you said it's free?
Absolutely. It's free from the City of Tallahassee Utilities, our own utilities.
Sounds good to me. Let's save some money.
If you're a City of Tallahassee residential, electric, and natural gas customer, you can schedule a free energy audit. Call 891-4YOU. That's 891-4968. And schedule your free energy audit at a time most convenient for you. A message from the City of Tallahassee Utilities, your own utilities.
Parker Brothers Roofing says don't play games with your roof. Protect your home and your family. The Parker Brothers tell you the truth. We'll fix your roof, 'cause it's what we do. With quality, integrity, and pride. Parker Brothers Roofing, professional every time. Stay safe and dry inside.
Hey, this is Travis with Parker Brothers Roofing. No one besides us wants to hear that you need a new roof. It's one of the biggest home improvements you have to make, and Parker Brothers Roofing understands. We now offer financing for 0% over 60 months. Yes, that's 5 years. Call us today for 5 years interest-free financing on that new roof. 656-8112. That's 656-8112, or go to parkerbrothersroofing.net.
Parker Brothers Roofing, professional every time. Stay safe and dry inside.
License number CCC 049350.
Platigan Sports makes it their business to know about your community, the local sports schedules, and your child's sports needs. And don't be fooled. Bigger stores don't always mean better selection or better prices. At Platigan Sports, you can choose from new or quality used sports and fitness equipment, and from a large selection of some of the top name brands out there: Nike, Reebok, Under Armour, Easton, and many others. Plus, at Platigan Sports, you can sell those sports and fitness items you no longer need for cash on the spot.
A store that fits your needs and your budget. That's Platigan Sports.
Do you want to try out the newest kayaks on the market? On Saturday, March 10th, the Wilderness Way will have a demo day from 10 a.m. until 3 p.m. at TNT Hideaway, located on the Wakulla River. You can test paddle the 2018 Mirage Drive Compass, Hobie's more affordable pedal drive, as well as the Pro Anglers, Outbacks, and Revolutions. They'll be introducing their new dealer, Bonafide, also. There will also be fishing kayaks from Jackson Kayaks and big stand-up paddle boards. Contact the Wilderness Way at 877-7200 for more information or directions to TNT Hideaway. Don't miss this opportunity on March 10th from 10 a.m. until 3 p.m.
Live from the AmeriGas Propane Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Show 97.9 ESPN Radio. I'm going to play a clip for you here of Willie Taggart on Chuck Oliver's show. Chuck Oliver does a largely college football-oriented radio show. I think he's based in Atlanta. I've been on that show a lot. I don't know if he's moved since. That's why I said I think. Is he, Tom?
Yeah, I believe so, yes.
Yeah. Anyhow, Chuck once actually worked with Jimbo Fisher at Auburn way back when. And I was on there after Fisher left. That was an interesting conversation. That's a while ago. But I'll mention that another time, just in terms of some insight he gave me about Jimbo's personality, which was interesting. But he had Willie Taggart on Tuesday, and they sent us the audio. And, we'll play the clip from Willie Taggart. It's a little over a minute. And then I want to comment on this because I think it's revealing and consistent. And I like hearing that. I didn't hear the interview. I didn't know he had been on there. And then we listened to it this morning and said, we can use that for the show. But it's interesting. He's consistent across the board, whether he's in town doing a local show, having a private conversation, or being asked a question by, in this case, Chuck Oliver. Here's Willie Taggart answering Chuck Oliver's question about facilities.
What is on your wish list in Tallahassee as far as facilities? What would you tell the administration, I need X, Y, and Z?
Well, you're right. I've seen it all. I was at Western Kentucky when he started.
Yeah.
Got going, and they had really good facilities. And we went to South Florida, and facility needed upgrade. You go out to Oregon, and there's no better facilities in this country than out at Oregon, and when you come here, it's kind of like it was in South Florida. It needs some upgrades to a lot of things, so wish list-wise, we want to upgrade some things, whether it's a standalone football facility or renovating this, whatever it is, it needs upgraded. That's kind of like with anything else that's out there. After so many years, you gotta clean it up and retool it and get it going. So I think that's kind of where we're at right now. Just needing to upgrade some things.
Are you in the conversation stage with the folks that'll say yes to that, or is that still premature?
No, I think that's something that's going to happen. I think that's something that's going to happen, and it'll be good for our football program once it does.
All right, so a couple things here to unpack with that. The first is, remember, the question about facilities was never the sticking point. It wasn't that Jimbo thought we needed to upgrade things or even needed new things that people had a problem with. It was trotting that out there during a call-in show after a bad loss in the midst of a terrible season and deflecting responsibility from having kids not playing up to their potential by talking about facilities as if somehow that was the cause to a 5-6 campaign. That was the larger point of contention and consternation for FSU fans. So to hear him say that some things need to be upgraded does not surprise me, nor does it validate anything that Jimbo Fisher was doing. Because I know I can hear it coming, Tom. Well, see, you guys killed Fisher for saying that. Yes,
No.
and I would again.
Yes,
because you don't do that in that situation.
Correct.
It was timing. It was poor timing. It was never that there wasn't some truth to the fact that some things needed to be upgraded or added.
Yeah, it was time and place. I didn't kill Fisher for it. I thought, again, it's
not
important,
initially. It continued, though.
Right, as we get into losing game after game after game.
Right.
Yes. But I can recall this was actually one of the fun topics of last year when you got Stan on SiriusXM and you were talking about, what is the vision moving forward, and finally you hear a long-form answer from the athletic director. And I remember talking about how I felt relieved, and I did. Oh, well, I never hear from this guy,
good.
so I wonder.
He's got his finger on the pulse of the situation, right?
Well, and let's be honest. There have been administrators at Florida State over the years where you're not sure they do a damn thing. So when this guy comes over and you don't hear anything, you go, oh, is this just another in the long line of people who just don't do their job, but they have a title? So then you hear Stan talk, and you say, oh, the conversation is happening. Thankfully, it's happening.
Yeah.
But I remember saying, good, I want Jimbo to never be pleased because that's what we pay him to do, is to never be pleased. However, if you want to run to the press and use the press as a weapon, that is evidence that the communication process has broken down with the proper channels to a point you feel like you have to make your appeal to the masses rather than just talking behind closed doors. And that's where we kind of bled into, oh, yes, this Fisher situation has devolved his relationship with the booster community, his relationship with the athletic department, where they can't get anything constructive done, and he feels like he has to run to a call-in show or to the press to cry about facilities rather than to have, big boy meetings like most coaches and administrators do.
Well, and to do it after a bad loss and to belittle what contributions had been made in the tunes of millions of dollars for the things he had asked for previously that got done immediately, like the indoor practice facility, etc. So it was stated in a way as to suggest nothing had ever been done. It was stated in a way that dismissed the contributions of those that gave handsomely so that the newer facilities and indoor practice facility could be a thing. The renovations to the Moore and everything else was, I think, classified as, we did a little something in the beginning, we haven't done anything since.
Yeah.
I believe that was the terminology. I'm
That's pretty much the
paraphrasing.
gist of it.
Right.
Well, nuance was never his strong suit.
No. So that immediately, wrong time, wrong place, wrong answer, man. And that began a series of times in moments in which he chose to bring that topic up at an inopportune time on the heels of on-field issues that have nothing to do with this other separate conversation.
Preparation issues and coaching issues and game management issues. Yes.
Okay, so I just wanted to get that out there because I can hear it now. There'll be a select few who are like, well, gosh, you guys were all over him for that. Yes, I was all over him, not for asking for newer things, because every coach does that at every major university. Coaches don't stop asking. They're going to keep asking. There's never, as he said, a time to take a break from the arms race that is the latest and greatest facility.
Right.
Once you're in it for life, I think was the quote.
Well,
yes, sure.
And again, that camp may not be strongly suited in the nuance department either, because when we talked about it, we talked about, yes, a coach should always fight for this. He should never be satisfied. And I'll echo those sentiments. Again, I want this coach not to be satisfied with whatever we're doing, but I want those conversations to take place where they should take place. And the problem is, people didn't want to say yes to Jimbo when things went bad. Let's see if Willie can work the channels, the
He's already
booster
began
channels,
the process. But
shake the hands to where if things are 50-50, they're still going to say yes because they believe in the man.
Well, people couldn't go and speak to Fisher. And so you did have a breakdown in communications because everybody felt like the second they walked through the door, they were going to get their head ripped off. And so communication completely shut down. And there were a lot of reasons for that and a lot of factors that played into that. Unfortunately, the untimely passing of Monk Montesort was a part of that. The divorce was part of that. There were a lot of things that happened. The fact that Andy Miller and Jimbo couldn't stand one another, or at least Jimbo couldn't stand Andy Miller. I don't know how Andy feels about Jimbo. But anyhow, the point would be we know that. These are all facts.
Sure.
So that was a tough deal. But remember this, too. They never said no.
Right.
This was
they were just talking about the Moore being repurposed as a football-only facility, and Jimbo said that's not good enough. It has to be a standalone facility, and they didn't know where the hell to put it.
Right. But
that's where we left it before Willie ever set foot here.
And it was still not a resounding no, or we can't do that. It was it's going to take time. I can't do it tomorrow. We've got to raise the funds. So whatever we decide on after we figure it out, it's not going to be here next year, Coach.
Well, and that's where when Stan came into the process and he voiced his opinion to you guys on Sirius, it sounded like listen, fellas, the pragmatic thing here is, well, it's going to happen, but it's going to be the Moore.
Yeah.
That's what it sounded like to me. Now, that's me putting words in the mouth, but it sounded like this is the most feasible solution given the budget we have and the time constraints and land.
There was no other way to do it short of knocking down the Dick Howser Stadium, which I don't think they were prepared to do.
Well, they just put a new scoreboard in there.
That's correct. So does Dick Howser need to be upgraded? Yes. Renovated? Yes. Lots of things need to happen to Dick Howser Stadium. But if you don't want to just tear it down and move it over to where the intramural fields are, which was the other option.
Yeah, I think that movement has come and gone, right?
I don't think it's going to happen.
You were pushing for it last year.
I was pushing for either them kind of blowing up Howser and putting in a brand new facility there, or anywhere for that matter.
IM Fields, I believe, was the suggestion at the time, yes.
Right. And I love the bigger idea of that, of walking across from College Town and going to the restaurants and bars over to the baseball stadium. It sounds great if you can do it, but it involves an awful lot of money and planning, and I get it. I mean, it's not something that you can do overnight. So whatever they were going to do, they were going to need to upgrade. Dick Howser Stadium has problems. I mean, it's funny, when you go into Howser, you don't notice them because the outside of Howser's fine. It's got a charm to it. It really does. And that new scoreboard is something to behold. The dimensions, the outlay of the park.
Could use some paint, but other than that,
right.
yeah.
But when you go in, it's nice. It's charming. It's a wonderful place to watch a baseball game. Always has been. It's the stuff underneath. It's the locker rooms and all these other things that are
coaches' offices.
Yeah, they're breaking down. They've got issues there. That's just a wear and tear of time. Okay, got it. Anyhow, long story short, we're getting away from ourselves here. I want to get back to something. Willie answering the question the way that he did does not surprise me, because Willie said this to me. I asked him about questions and the give and take between reporters and coaches, and he has reiterated this publicly and then also in private, just in a conversation. If you ask him, he'll tell you this. Well, Jeff, you can ask me anything. I'll answer your questions. I'm not afraid of anything. Go ahead. I have an answer for you. Oh, and it was very refreshing. It was, you can ask me anything. I've never gotten mad at a reporter, save for once when they didn't use my quotes and didn't for a story that was very critical of me, where I had given answers. The thing out in Oregon. He was contacted by a reporter. This ended up making it to Outside the Lines because that kid was trying to make a name for himself and called it in. Anyhow, the point is, he wanted to sit down with that reporter because he thought, where did this come from out of left field? I sat down and did an hour interview with you, gave you multiple quotes. You don't use any of them in your article, and you presented a certain way with no retort. It's nothing. That's not the way journalism works. And he was very upset about that and said so. He goes, that's the one and only time I've ever been upset with a question or a reporter, because they were disingenuous and they had an agenda. And so he said, you can ask me anything. You may not like the answer. I may not like the question, but I get you have a job to do, and you can ask it, and I'll give you an answer. Well, there it is. I mean, so far in the brief interactions I've had with Coach Taggart, which is now 3 conversations, 2 interviews, and 1 one-on-one conversation, he has been exactly that. Forthcoming, thoughtful, takes time to hear your question and think about what it is he's going to say before he answers. Not a lot of filler. There is a moment to where he's kind of organizing his thoughts if the question's a tough one. But then, really, quite frankly, there's real honesty there. That's interesting, right? He could have very easily just said, well, the facilities are very good here. We're working on some things, as are all big-time schools, look to improve certain areas, but we've got great facilities. But he didn't say that. He said, we have some things that need some work, and we're working on that. And then he goes on to expound and say that he thinks it's going to happen, which it is, because if you talk to the power people at FSU and the major donors, they're all in.
Sure. But I don't think it would be shock jock or irresponsible journalist guy to say that the headline there is the facilities are like USF, or the situation is like USF. That, to me, is
only
alarming.
In that they need to be both stops for him were places where he felt like things could be upgraded, but not that the facilities themselves were directly on par with one another.
No, I take to the nuance there too.
Yeah,
that he's talking about it's a situation where he walked in and it's not good enough.
Right. You want to do better.
Right. So surely a baseline at Florida State is better than a baseline at
USF
what I mean. That he's improving on.
Yeah, he's not saying they're the same.
But it is still, it's important. It's important that gets done, and it's important that the university takes this next step, because you got to project strength and you got to project unity between coaching
keep up
staff.
With the Joneses,
well,
sure.
well, it's like anything else. What did Willie talk about when he got on the dais when he first was introduced here? Academics was a big thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
War Chant had an article today. This is their final little Jimbo trilogy chronicles of the what went good, bad, and how did it get ugly.
Something that really went bad has to do with academics.
Well, yes, and they're talking about the APR score today. I got down to 939, and it's the worst in Power 5 football.
Right.
You think that they might have talked about that when they met in Arizona?
I don't think there's any question that he hit on every key point that they discussed and that he observed.
Correct. And in the same way, I think the university and booster community would be wise to make a grand announcement where everybody, from all camps that were divided and fighting each other when Jimbo was here, are all singing Kumbaya as we look at a rendering of what the new facility is going to look like. But in the near future.
The very frustrating aspect of all of this is that was going to happen. Now it'll happen for Willie Taggart. It was already going to happen. Those plans have been in play. That's the frustrating aspect. Those things, and that's also disingenuous, which is the reason we got very angry, was he knows those plans have been in play. He knows that they've been working on that. That's not new. Not as fast as he would have liked, and maybe not the plan that he would have chosen. But a plan, nonetheless, was in play, and the larger discussion had been had been ongoing for some time, as facilitated by Coach Fisher. So then to come out and act as if you had been told no, and to deflect questions or answers that have to do with on-field performance and you not getting the most out of players and somehow wrap it into facilities and a lack thereof is ridiculous and disingenuous.
Agreed. At the end of the day, all I care about is that the coach pushes for better, always, better and more, and that the athletic department says no sometimes. It's important for the athletic department to say no sometimes.
That's right. Well, that has to be in play if you're healthy because, listen, the athletic department has to look out for more than one sport.
A&M says yes to everything. What's
because
that
they can, and they don't win anything.
Right.
But it's that there's a lot of things at play with that. I mean, anyhow, I'm not surprised by the answer. I thought it was good. I thought it was interesting to listen to him there. We'll have Willie back on here in the near future. Obviously, they'll be getting geared up for spring, so we've got that. Boy, this is it, huh? Signing off.
Yeah, we had a slot, and we kind of just I'm moving them.
Did I just power through?
I'm moving and shaking some things. Yeah. Well, that's a good conversation. How are you going to stop in the middle of that?
You can't. Good work out of you. Good work, Matthew. Be well, everybody. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Of course we will. We always do. Look forward to it.